Welcome to This Week in the SFL Season 20 Week 11 edition. Alongside Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. Happy to be here with you on another great Monday evening. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, Cam. Bunch of games happening this weekend. It was awesome to see some teams fighting back, getting wins, some teams upsetting another team. It was a great weekend, and can't wait to wrap it all up with everyone tonight.
It's getting real, isn't it? Just 3 weeks left in the regular season, and it seems like every game matters at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. This late in the season, you have to win every single game that's left on your schedule, and some teams did it this week, some teams did not.
Let's hit the headlines from Week 11. Kings of the East. Atlanta clinches a playoff spot and the division. Paul, third different East winner in the last 3 seasons. No one wants to lay claim to this division like maybe some of the others around the league. There's a new leader in the Central. The Desperados continue their rise after a dominant defensive performance over Minnesota. And the big question tonight, Paul, did you see it out there, SFL Nation? The Preds and Wings put on a show late last night with a dramatic finish despite both teams not really being in the playoff picture. What stood out to you, Paul?
As far as what stood out to me, I know they're not on this headline, but BC going in, getting it done this weekend. Got to give my shout outs to DC Dragons for going in and upsetting Las Vegas this weekend.
I thought you might say that, and I thought they might say that as well. So I got Shabazz in on the graphic there over on the right, just to be sure. Too many headlines to cover, Paul.
Absolutely. That's never a bad thing, though.
That's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing. Let's hit some highlights. And this week, who gets the call? We start in Houma, Louisiana, where the Atlanta Swarm were at the Louisiana Revolution, donning their New Orleans Pharaoh throwbacks. Pretty, and so far so good for Louisiana early. A Randy Squarebush touchdown, and then doink, Sammy Steele, a rare 43-yard field goal miss. Kept the score 7-0, but things started to turn for the Swarm. Blocked punt there by Jay Rock would give Atlanta possession, down 7-0. They got a field goal out of it. 10-3. Start of the second half, and a fumble. BDG Hollywood lost the ball. Evan Arthur poked it out, and then Dante Grimm recovers the fumble and takes it for 6.
When you're going up against the 7-1 Atlanta Swarm team, to be up headed into halftime and then start the second half like that is exactly what they were trying to do in this game.
Third quarter, Tommy Utah to Xavier Hooper. Liam Hammer injured earlier, or Xavier, the last name on that player. Injured earlier in the game was Liam Hammer, and Louisiana was scatterbrained, kind of like I am. Touchdown, Bryant Dynasty to Siege Falco. Makes it 20-10, and Atlanta's starting to get back into it. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 9, and Tommy Utah's looking in the flat, and what are you doing? Jack Napier takes it back and scores. It's a 3-point game.
And when you're down 13 points against the tough Louisiana Revolution team, you got to rely on your defense, who has been helping your team win games all season long, and Napier does it here, picking off Utah there and just taking it to the house. He walked right in.
The Joker makes it a 3-point game, 20-17. Now 1:13 to go. Atlanta's got another shot. Dynasty off the front foot. Hitch Falco again into field goal range, and no, don't look now. Atlanta has a chance to tie, but they don't want the tie. They want the dub. Dynasty to Boo Chisholm. He's open. He scores. 24-20 now. Atlanta takes the lead. No timeouts left for Louisiana. They would manage to get the ball back despite Jack Napier making another brilliant play as Boo just obscene in the end zone. Watch Napier here. Got him! With 25 seconds left, his second pick of the game. Another pretty play from the Swarm on this comeback trail.
And what a way to help your team seal the win. Yeah, Napier with the interception return for a touchdown, and coming up making another big-time interception.
Last play, Tommy Utah avoids a sack. He's looking around for someone. He's wide open. He falls over, Paul. He falls over. They got no timeouts. That's the game. And Atlanta wins 24-20 as the clock runs out. They win the East on that play. Your initial reaction, Paul, to Atlanta's comeback win?
It's just unbelievable. A team down by as many points as they were with not a whole lot of time left in the game, but the way that they fought back to get another win added onto the season, taking them to 8-1, taking over the number 1 seed again. Just a great way to go out and fight back for a win from Atlanta.
Now, Louisiana, I mean, this was the game from hell from them. They lost Liam Hammer early in the first half, so you lose your kick returner, your punt returner. Da Vinci steps in. Their wide receiver charts all over the place. They're shifting around personnel. Then they lose their starting left tackle, which is huge against a team like Atlanta, who loves to get pressure on the quarterback, and a team that loves to run outside, too, with Randy Squarebush, and they couldn't get that going. And just so much discombobulation there. And unfortunately, the uniforms that they wore to spook the Atlanta Swarm with those New Orleans throwbacks end up haunting the Revolution. Now they're 5-4 and fighting for their lives for the last playoff spot.
And I'll tell you what, Cam, these last final weeks of the regular season, there's a lot of teams looking in right now, a lot of teams kind of right on that bubble, and as you mentioned earlier, every single game matters for almost every team, especially the ones in the hunt, and it's going to be an absolutely wild finish to season 20.
We'll get your updated look at the standings, your first updated look of the week at the end of the show. Back to the highlights. Let's go to Denver, where last night Charleston and Denver played a terrific game. This is Dylan Lewis's first career touchdown. He puts Denver up early, 7-0. Denver 2-6. Charleston's 1-8. They've lost 8 in a row, but both teams played well. Kentas Johnson is picked off. Lucas Devore, that's his first career interception. Now watch Saren Storm here, down 10-0. Fumble! And look at the offensive lineman coming over. Actually, that was Terrell Sutherland who ends up recovering the fumble. 13th play of the drive, Saren Storm would punch it in, and Charleston avoids disaster. 10-7 now in the second quarter. Denver up by 3. 13-7 now in the third. Kentas Johnson gets a first down, but more importantly, gets 25,000 career yards. He is the 15th quarterback to hit 25,000 all-time. Former Houston Hyena down 13-7. Look at this! Jumpman, jumpman, jumpman! Hunter Sadobi with the touchdown, and Charleston takes the lead.
Jumpman, that man up to something on that one, going up and snagging it from two defenders and fighting to get into the end zone to help your team take a lead.
Hand off to Sutherland. He scores, makes it 21-20 in the fourth quarter, so everyone getting involved for the Preds. Next possession for Denver, 3rd down and 6. That off the helmet of Jack Brown, and Matt Ryan comes up with the pick. You don't see that every day.
No, you do not, Cam, and what a time to make a play in the fourth quarter. You're up 1, and you're just trying to help your offense take the ball away, and that's exactly what Matt Ryan did there on that play.
So Charleston's got the momentum, under 5 to go. They flip it outside. That is another touchdown. Murphy with the score for Charleston. They're up 28-20. That sets the mood. Under a minute to go, 4th and 2. Struthers needs it. Pass is caught. Mosley dragging down to the 1-yard line, but can't get in after a sack. Struthers back in the end zone. Ooh. Logan Keel taps the toes and gets it in. 28-26. So Denver will go for 2. Denver will go for 2 to tie the game. Denver will go for 2. What are they doing? Go for 2. Oh, it's a fake. Oh, it's terrible. Charleston wins for the first time in 2 months. 28-26. Another wild ending as we quickly shift to Portland. Seattle at Portland. The nemesis, boy, they love to start games fast. David Gears with the touchdown of the opening possession, 7-0 Seattle. Now, Cyrus Jive to the, Cyrus Jive to the back of the end zone. That pass is picked off. That would be a theme of this day. That's Brady Clark with the interception for Seattle, 7-0, 10-3. Nemesis on top of the fumble. That's not Baloo Scott. That's the backup. And I think Matt Brown may have a pink slip after this week. Matt Brown's the fullback, but the running back may have a pink slip after this week.
Yeah, Alistair Kai coming in for the nemesis, trying to help the nemesis after Blue Scott went down. Just tough play to fumble it there.
So Kai fumbles once, and then Jive in the end zone throws another pick. Another chance for Portland to get points, but they can't. Ethan Kai with the interception, and it's still 10-3 in the third quarter.
And great job there from Ethan. You're up 7, trying to shut down the team like you have all game, and a great interception there.
Alistair Kai fumbles again. Can you believe it? In the fourth quarter, still in a 10-3 game. I couldn't. Could you?
That I could not believe that one there. The defense was dominating all game, so to give them field possession within the 10-yard line was something that the Nemesis just could not do.
Fourth quarter, 8 minutes to go. 3rd and goal from the 1. Ezekiel Love, easiest touchdown he'll get all season. He starts the mower. Tie game at 10. Very next offensive play. Trellis Blanton's pass is picked off by Dale McClain, and just like that, Portland takes the lead, 17-10 with 8 to go. Paul Sarp's got his barf trash can, and he's got his head buried into it right now. 3rd and 17. That pass is caught to keep the drive alive. David Gears, and then 16 seconds left. Stop me when you've heard this before. Seattle on the 1-yard line. Don't throw it. Oh, it's picked in the end zone, and Portland wins 17-10. They keep their playoff hopes alive. They are still 1 game back of Vancouver. Paul, you can get off this game in roughly 10 seconds. Your last thoughts on Portland getting a huge win, keeping their season going.
Hey, I was just glad that Cyrus Jive didn't throw 24 straight completions on us this weekend, but incredible job to Portland Fleet for getting the job done and fighting to come back and stealing that game.
That's the way to be an optimist. Portland's got Vancouver last week of the season, but they got to keep pace. Going back to that Denver-Charleston game, great for Charleston, but agonizing for Denver, who's on the losing streak of their own. That's a tough way to lose a game.
Yeah, absolutely. But huge shout out to Charleston. As you mentioned, been a couple months since they got a victory, so I'm happy for them to go out and get the job done, and excited to see what is next for Charleston and Denver as well.
Next up on the show, Blowout City, literally. Queen City blown out by Mexico City, 38-13. The Corsairs are now 0-9. Look at those numbers for Jet Zero, Paul. I mean, he averaged 6 yards a carry. Just didn't get him the ball too much on Lakeman, the rookie, but he's still playing well. It's crazy. These box scores of some of these teams getting blown out. The numbers don't look all that bad, but they're just not turning into wins.
Yeah, the Lake man, wow, he's having an incredible rookie season. As far as the team struggling a little bit, it's I don't want to say that it's all on the Lake man, but John Lakeman's playing great, and Mexico City, this is just what they do season after season, Cam.
They are your current South leader. We'll get to the South race momentarily, but look at those rushing numbers from Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley, a total of 270 yards between the two of them, and the two of them, not even counting extra points, scored 24 all by themselves. Hell, even Ray Bentley outscored Queen City 38-13. Here's another city blowout. Houston roughs up the V8s 52-24. This is becoming a trend on the show, Paul, talking about Motor City and Queen City in a blowout in a box score. Ibrahim Creata, 41 of 48. Here's another team that it just has no established run game. Dean not getting it done for him. Huge shout out to Kaufman, big day, 18 receptions. But Motor City, back-to-back seasons, third worst rushing offense. As they transition into a new era, they've got to figure out how to get a run game going with all those big personnel.
Absolutely, because the players, and by looking at the numbers there, it doesn't look like it would be that big of a blowout. But Motor City kind of experimenting a little, trying different sets, may not necessarily be working from last season and this season. But as you mentioned, you got to have a two-dimensional offense, and having no rushing game is going to put pressure on the quarterback to move the ball down the field.
Houston creeping up the standings. They've won 4 in a row, and DR Sim gets to 20K with the one touchdown that he had. 20K on his career. More on some milestones here in just a moment. Mike St. Green, 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. He dominated. So did Dave Burr, 24-31. He threw 4. The backup threw 1. Everyone was involved. GP Wells scored 2 on the ground as well with 100 yards rushing. And Houston, they are really hot. Milestones, milestones to track. The Doctors to 20,000. As mentioned, Houston's got DR Sim up there, first player ever to do that. Kentes gets to 25. First Charleston or Houston player to ever be at 25,000 passing yards. And Ray Bentley passes Jason Williams for 5th all-time. He's up to 112 now. And Phoenix Jones passes the legend Johnny English for 11th all-time. He's up to 93.
That rushing attack from Mexico City, oh boy, to have 250 plus rushing yards from both of your running backs. They're both moving up the charts all time. 2 of the best running backs we've seen, and that's a lot of touchdowns and points put up between the both of them.
The South is up for grabs. Whoa, we don't need that. How about this? Oh, boy, a little teaser there. London at Alamo City. The South is up for grabs. And so early on, it was, as Rick Northrup put it, the AC-Ducey connection. Ace Fennick to Deuce Fennick. Beautifully done. One of my favorite moments of the week. But Robert Merrill would get going and steal the show. London takes a 10-7 lead. 2:40 to go in the first half. And Fennick's getting picked off by Jack Russell, who had himself a day.
Great interception there. You go down against a strong London Knights team. An interception gets your team the ball back, and a great job at that point in the game to try to turn the momentum into your favor there.
So there's a look at Russell getting that pick. More from him later. 10-7 back in the red zone, and Pickler's doing Pickler things. Hits Robert Merrill for the touchdown. 17-7. Merrill plants the sword. All he does is score recently. And this is what London did against Fort Worth that won him the game. Just before the end of the first half, Paul, they got points and points and points. They got a field goal on that drive. Now it's 23-7. Maybe Raugar Law can inspire this Alamo City offense. He would not. They'd go 3 and out on their next possession, and they'd only get a field goal out of the drive. So 23-10, fourth quarter, 9.5 to go. Robert Merrill, I mean, nobody even touched him. That's ridiculous. Plant a second sword, 30-10. London on the road in Tejas. Getting it done. They have been on fire. 5:16 to go. Who puts the exclamation point on the victory? It's Jack Russell in the end zone, picks it off. He tried to take it all the way back. No Brad Jones highlights except that tackle, and London dominates Alamo City. Still in the South, Fort Worth, Canton. This was low-key and extremely entertaining game. Started with Marcus Dunhill to Stephen Hacker. Bombs away. And Fort Worth takes a 7-0 lead, up 10-0. Cam Curtis fires down the field, picked off by Delaney Nash, and he's dashing in for 6. Pick 6, second quarter. At this point, Paul, it looked like it was over. 17-0. Canton's offense still struggling, but they find some juice just before the half. Cameron Curtis down the field. Al Dillapre Sr. down to the 14-yard line. Despite 3 picks, Canton's still in the ballgame. 17-3. Next play, Curtis to Jack Wall. That's a score. 17-10. Touchdown Classics not down all that much, keeping things interesting. A little bit north of San Antonio, up in Fort Worth. We head to the second half. After this from Jay-Z Bacon, this dude's just a beast.
Yeah, Jay-Z Bacon, a lot of people were skeptical on if he could be a factor in this Fort Worth offense, and he has proven that this season he is absolutely confident in himself and has lived up to the expectations that were set upon him.
Canton over pursued, and Bacon made him pay. Fort Worth tack on a field goal to the drive. 3rd and 1 of the 14. Dunhill fires into the end zone, and that's a touchdown to Stephen Hacker, 24-10. Fort Worth on top. Hacker's got 2 touchdowns. Now it's 30-10. 1:50 to go in the third, and it's plays like that that get you back in the game. Touchdown, Canton. Mike Twinscrew, I don't know how he came up with this, but this started Canton's surge.
And Mike Twinscrew he's practicing his hand-eye coordination before the game, and just you keep your eyes on the ball at all times, and lucky for him, it fell right into his hands and was able to get across the goal line and score 6 points for his team.
If you thought that was good, watch this next play from Connor Darien. 30-17, 2 plays later, late in the third quarter, Dunhill throws. Oh my gosh! Get up and go get it! Connor Darien with the pick, and Canton is in business late in the third quarter against a Fort Worth team that's coming off beating down Mexico City, beating down Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. But man, this Connor Darien play, that is just stupid.
I'm super glad we got to see that for a second time. What an incredible interception to try to help your team fight back to get this game.
But how do you stop a comeback? A little bit of Gond in your life. That's a sack, forces a field goal. Now 30-23 with 4 minutes to go. And Jay-Z Bacon scores a touchdown, makes it a 2-score game, and puts the game under wraps. Cam Curtis, this boy has heart. Down 14, look at this. Avoids a sack and takes off running. Still trying to help his team win. Spins out of one potential tackle, but a pick in the end zone. He actually threw 2 picks in the end zone in the last 3 minutes, and Canton would fall in this game, and they would fall to 3-6. They are almost out of the division race. They would have to win out. London would have to lose out. Otherwise, the North is the Knights. So, with all that being said, Paul, the South now stands as Mexico City 7-3, Fort Worth 6-3. The Aztecs have a bye this week. So Fort Worth gets a win. They will claim first place in the South heading into Week 13. And then you've got Houston 5-5. You got Alamo City 5-5. Now, Paul, it's my humble opinion that because the South has the North on the back end, I don't really see Houston or Alamo City making a push for the division because Fort Worth and Mexico City are playing the same teams. They've got the South's got a pretty cush at the moment because the North is really, really struggling. Fort Worth's in the driver's seat. Do you see it any differently playing out in the South as Fort Worth and Mexico City play each other again in Week 14?
No, not necessarily. But as far as what we've seen in the first half of the season, we were wondering if 3 South Division teams were going to make the playoffs. Now, I'm personally wondering if 4 South Division teams are going to make the playoffs because Houston's won 4 straight. Houston heartbreak no more from the first quarter of the season. So you win 4 straight, and you have 2 winnable games left against London and Alamo City. And on the flip side, you have Alamo City, who shined in Week 2 on Impact Monday. They got two separate 2-game win streaks throughout the season, but have failed to secure the third with losses against Houston and DC. The Week 14 matchup, though, Cam, between Alamo City and Houston, I believe the winner of that game is going to go right into the playoffs, where the loser of that game is going to be headed to the offseason.
It could be. One of the low-key great games of Week 12 is the first one on Saturday, Houston and London. Houston has won 4 in a row. London has won 5 in a row. And
that'll be a good one.
Yeah, it would be a great one. Houston, I got to believe, has to win that game. They got to be in playoff mode. Then Houston and Alamo City have that really late bye in Week 13, and then they play each other the last week of the season. So there's going to be a lot of nerves waiting on Week 13 results from those two teams, especially if Houston and Alamo City are both able to get the win next week. It should be an interesting race down the stretch in the South. Before we move on with our program tonight, we want to take a look back at some of the greatest moments we've seen so far out of the 4K23 exhibition series, Paul. We've seen a bunch of teams showcased, and we're super excited to enter the next phase of getting our league ready for this game. It's been a lot of fun, Paul. Your Seattle Nemesis were involved in a thriller as well. Your thoughts before we hit the tape on what you've seen so far out of the new era of the SFL coming up.
As far as what I've seen, I could not be any more excited for this new era. The customability of the game for teams to be able to throw their logos and branding all over the stadium. It opens it up for sponsorships and partners to throw their logos within the game. And it's just going to be an absolutely great thing for the league. And we've already seen some great games in just these exhibition matchups. So I can't wait to see a full season of SFL action in 4K23.
If you've missed any of the action, we've got the best for you right now. Here comes the SFL blimp. Thanks, Axel Raven. That's cool. 40, 30, one man chasing. It's Joseph. 10, 5, oh, what a move! Touchdown! Touchdown, San Diego! Oh, that was nasty! And off hard, and he dives into the end zone. Not kicking the field goal just yet, and the pass is caught for a touchdown! And they don't even need a field goal to win it on 4th and short. If not, they're going to give it to Portland in scoring position. Utah snaps it. Handoff, square bush. He got it. First down, game over. That last one, Paul, might be my favorite moment of what we've seen because we saw a team up 3 go for it in their own territory on 4th and 1 to ice it. That aggressive mentality. No timeouts in that situation. No trying to get – I mean, it's just going for it, right? Going for it in a moment that you need a win. And look, if you can't get half a yard, you probably don't deserve to win the game, and Portland could have had a chance to win it there. Fortunately for all these teams that won and lost, they're all exhibitions, so it doesn't matter. But we've seen some fun stuff and can't wait to get back to some more exhibitions here coming up later in the spring.
And I'll tell you what, Kim, what do you mean those wins don't count? So you're telling me Seattle's win in the exhibition doesn't count? No,
I don't think
honestly,
so. Maybe for
it's
morale it does, but
it's definitely for me for morale. But hey, yeah, everything being seen and everything spoken so far, it's going to be a great thing for the league. And I just can't wait to see it all step by step kind of pan out. And as we head into this new era of SFL, I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it with you and with the community.
we are continuing behind the scenes to test out new programs, new software, and all sorts of stuff coming up. Some really exciting announcements to come from the SFL, and we got our full crew here tonight to check out the big championship rematch between Baltimore and Arizona, and so much more to come. So that's super exciting. Let's get back to the highlights. Now that we've covered the South, let's head west, where you've got Carolina going to San Diego, and that is just a pretty catch from Eagle Mondavi to start us off.
Beautiful catch there to come out swinging here and go up 6-0 against a pretty solid Carolina Skyhawks team who's having an impressive season. Just a great catch there at the back of the end zone. Got both feet in, and beautiful catch to start the game.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Carolina would come right back. Ike McBride smears a tie game at 7. And Carolina and San Diego, as expected, going back and forth early. Two teams right in the thick of the playoff race. But somebody's got to cover B. Robo. Oh, man. That was just dirty. He did him dirty. B. Robo now new career high for touchdowns in a season. And that was done with style.
Most definitely done with style to put him in the spin cycle in the washer machine and then just off to the races. No defenders able to catch him. Just no one covered him. Found the gap, broke the tackle, and off to the races.
Lincoln Kingseed looking silly there, and San Diego takes a 17-7 lead. Now 17-10, 5.5 to go in the fourth, and somebody's got to cover Robo again. Another missed tackle, that time by Wyatt. Robo crushed, 20-10. They got a field goal on that drive. Tanner Hendricks takes the ball away. San Diego would get a 20-10 win. Not a ton of highlights in this one. A bunch of really good defense, really well-played games. San Diego goes to 6-4, and they are right in the thick of things down the stretch of the season. They have Charleston and Denver left. It's theirs to lose, really, Paul. They win out, they'll be just fine. More highlights. Don't forget, as you said at the top of the show, about the DC Dragons at 4-5, creeping up the standings. Early on, felt pretty good for Vegas. Chris Magel, nice play in the end zone, but it would quickly turn sour. Eric Price is decked. I mean decked. There's 4 DC Dragons in the backfield. He loses 6 and gets stood over. To make matters worse, on 3rd and 16, he's pummeled again. Declan O'Rourke drags him down and pushes the Fury all the way back to the 6-yard line. That would force a 4th and 24 and turn the game on its head, 7-0. Look at the smooth throwing motion from Shabazz Synergy all the way to Mike Churchill with a 7-0 lead. And Shabazz and Mike Churchill are cooking early. Kevin Say, look at the vision. Whoop, 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 whoop. Just gets through everybody down to the 7-yard line. Put Sean Allen in the freeze frame.
You're slicing and dicing them right there on that one, Cam.
Still in the first quarter, Kevin Say, bingo. That's easy enough. 14-0 DC. Now 14-7. Eric Price getting him cooking. Goes to Prince. Wonder. Down the field, breaks the tackle, scores. 14-14, just like that. Vegas is right back in it. The 7-1 Fury trying to hold on to their first round bye positioning. Prince Wonder helping them do that. Mason Kirby had a big night. Doug Britton was pretty quiet in this one, but Wonder stepped up.
Absolutely, Prince Wonder with the huge play there. He beat 3 defenders, 2 tacklers trying to get you down, but dragging them off you and scoring for your team.
Oh, Mike Churchill, just like B. Robo, he was the difference for the DC Dragons on this night. A 3rd and 10. Vegas down 7, had a chance to get off the field, and now they're on life support for their first round bye. 27-13, 7 minutes to go. Price has another shot at it. Eric Price's pass is picked off, just overthrown. Darrell Bullock makes the play. All of a sudden, the game has shifted. Not even a minute later, Shabazz Synergy, deep drop back. What a bullet! Josh Gill almost hit his head on the goalpost. 34-13. DC smoking Vegas at this point. A shocking result. Watch this play. Speaking of shocking, just a little spot route, breaks the tackle, and, well, guess that's the end of that. Nobody's in sight. Mason Kirby scores. Look at the blocking on second look on this play, Paul. Really curious looking play.
Yeah, it's just no one in sight. After, sure, that you spin out and get away from a defender, but after that, to just run and have no one even in the screen is just incredible.
And you might be able to see it on the replay
And
here.
look, just ran a little 5-yard route, makes two people miss. Great blocking down the field.
Incredible blocking.
Just got away from everybody. That's what Mason Kirby can do. 34-20. Unfortunately for Vegas, it would be too little too late. How would DC put the final staple on this one? Well, ho-hum. 4th down, and they get the stop. 34-20. DC gets the win. So they are now 5-5, and really right back in the thick of things of the playoff race. They get a huge SOV bump by beating Las Vegas, so that's going to launch them into the 400s for SOV tiebreaker. And they still have a chance, Paul, believe it or not, to win the division. Now, they'd have to win their last 2 games. Baltimore would have to lose their final 4. I doubt that's going to happen. I don't think DC should be betting on that to happen either, but they're still right in the race for the wild card. DC wins and San Diego wins. That means that they get flexed. Impact Monday in Week 13 is headed to our nation's capital, where the currently 6-4 San Diego Mavericks will be coming off a bye. They will be taking on the 5-5 DC Dragons, also coming off a bye on Impact Monday. These two teams right on the edge, the fringe of playoff contention, and it's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere in Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that one here. As you said, Cam, in just a few weeks, both of these teams right on the bubble. So as we mentioned earlier, with the season winding down, these are must-win games for teams, and both of these teams need every win they can to help get them into the playoffs, and it's just going to be a great Monday night, and I'm excited for it.
Here's your updated national broadcast primetime schedule coming up. This upcoming Saturday on Next Level Sports, Portland is 1 game back of Vancouver. The Revs are now in a fight for the last wild card spot, or one of the few last wild card spots. Portland and Louisiana, Saturday on Next Level Sports. Next Monday is a flexed Impact Monday game. We'll see Atlanta taking on Indianapolis. Paul, we last saw Atlanta when they came back in the second half against Sioux Falls and stayed undefeated. We last saw Indy fall to Minnesota, but this is a completely different team they're playing right now. But they trail Tulsa, who Atlanta has the next week. Get ready to see Atlanta on national television, folks. Saturday, April 8th on Next Level Sports, Atlanta and Tulsa. Paul, 2 teams that didn't even make the playoffs last season are in the top 4 right now. If the playoffs started today, they are in the top 4. And dare I say it, could it be a championship preview? Tulsa and Atlanta. That comes your way in 2 weeks on Next Level Sports.
And if it is a championship preview, oh boy, what a game it would be. We're going to see a little sneak peek to finish the regular season off. But I'll tell you what, if both of these teams are going to make their way to the championship and play one another, some wild things are going to happen in these playoffs. And boy, I can't wait to see some playoff SFL football.
Speaking of Tulsa, it happened at the beginning of the week, but Tulsa got a pretty impressive victory against the Minnesota Legend in a battle for first place in the Central, and it started with Mr. Gabriel Manning. This was not an easy return. He makes it look easy. That is ridiculous. Tulsa takes a 7-3 lead.
And we've seen it a few times this season. Gabriel Manning is a playmaker, and boy, that guy's fast.
Johnny Reno's pass picked off by Marco Swift. He'd have 3 on the day. And Johnny Reno get used to fighting with Cameron Shaw and the rest of this defense and looking disheveled. 13-3, second quarter. Uh-oh! JQ throws it away, gets Minnesota right back in the game. That's a pick 6 and a touchdown. It's at 13-10. Legend only down 3.
just an incredible game, back and forth all game long.
And Manning again dialing up the deep ball on Minnesota. Douglas Brown breaks a tackle. He scores 20-10. Tulsa in the third. Keep in mind on that 10 on the scoreboard for Minnesota, still don't have an offensive touchdown in the game. 7:45 to go in the fourth, and this gives Minnesota another shot. Down 10, opportunity to get some points on the board. On another pick from JQ. He had a terrible day, but 3rd and goal at the 10. Paul, they really struggled all day in the red zone. They only get a field goal out of this drive, 23-16. And then look, another end zone interception from the 1-yard line this week, Paul. That seemed to be a theme. Marco Swift is 3rd of 3 picks, and Tulsa gets the win over Minnesota, 26-16. They are 7-2.
A great job from Marco Swift, a great showing from him. And Cam, of all these teams this season to be the most impressive, I gotta go with Tulsa because they've really turned things around. From seasons 15 to 17, they had an 11-25 record. Fast forward to seasons 18 through 20, they now have a 21-12 record with games against Seattle, Atlanta, and Indianapolis left. So they totally changed things on how they've done it over the past few seasons. And looking back to season 17, where they went 2-10, Cam, they're nearly doubling their points per game this season. Back in season 17, they averaged 14.9 points offense a game. This season, they're averaging 28.8 points. And you got to look at the turnovers as well. They have 12 turnovers this season compared to 31 in season 17 and 36 in season 18. Just impressive showing this season. They're really changing things around. So huge. I want to give a huge credit to general manager of Tulsa, Marco Swift, who we saw him get 3 interceptions for his 2nd hat trick of the season, but the team that he's helped assemble has really taken Tulsa to this next level. To bring in a kicker like Brooke Beisel, who's put up 174 points in her career, to bring in SFLM rushing record holder Douglas Brown. He's scored over 40 touchdowns in his short career with over 4,000 passing yards. It's just helped Tulsa become the team that they are today.
Douglas Brown gets drafted number 1 overall. Now him and Brooke Beisel are married. Dion got some help, Paul. I mean, you got the Swift brothers, Jaden and Marco, helping him out. They got Douglas Brown in the backfield. They were originally running with Sonzo Robinson, and they just couldn't get it moving. So Douglas Brown was a huge pickup. They got a reliable kicker. That defensive line continued to improve and get nasty, kind of like Baltimore, right, Paul? I mean, they've kept that nucleus on that defensive front together, and that's only helped them become a more vicious team up front. And it's amazing what you can do with some help. I mean,
absolutely,
no one can do it alone at this point in the SFL.
Yeah, and moving forward, it's definitely going to be a team effort. You got to have everyone, all hands on deck, ready to help out and help your team win games. It's not necessarily all on the field, it's the back end things as well. So Tulsa's been doing an incredible job, and kudos to them for kind of changing things around over here the last few seasons.
Mike Mello was really he was the last final piece in that defensive front. Berto DeMora started it all there in Tulsa, and now that they built this team, I think, Paul, that the last piece of their puzzle is getting JQ more efficient with his chances, with his opportunities. He hasn't thrown a lot of picks this year, but he really did not have a great game. A 19 quarterback rating against Minnesota. But, I mean, Paul, if you can beat Minnesota by 10 with a QBR of 19, that just shows how talented this team is. It's crazy.
Absolutely, Cam. Again, you can't win games a whole lot with bad quarterback play, but Tulsa, they beat an incredibly strong Minnesota team with a quarterback rating of 19. So kudos to them, and I can't wait to see how they can finish their season.
All right. Let's look at the updated standings. We're going to break this down. Atlanta is your number 1 seed right now, thanks to SOV by .004 over Arizona, who plays Monday night against Baltimore. So you've got Arizona and Atlanta right there. Baltimore is 7-1. They are right there. Tulsa is now your new number 4 seed as a division leader. They jump over Vegas, who goes to 5. I want you to look, Paul, from the top of the bracket to the bottom of the bracket. You have Vegas and Alamo City, 9 different wild card spots separated by 2.5 games. 2 games in the win column. It's absolutely wild how tight the wild card race is right now. Before I get to the rest of it, that top 5, Vegas holding in that 5th spot. Paul, your reaction to what you see?
I'm saying there's a lot of good teams in this league, and we've seen all season long the teams that are here to compete for an SFL championship, and then we've seen the teams who just aren't quite there yet and aren't ready to make that championship push. But to see those 4 teams on the outside looking in, those are 4 great franchises in this league and 4 tough teams that you don't want to go up against every weekend. So just seeing that the teams that are outside looking in, it's just mind-boggling to me because there's that many more teams that are better than these 4 teams.
I see 8 championship contenders on this graphic. I'm not gonna say which 8 because I don't want to. I don't want people throwing bricks through my windows or anything. But I see 8 on the list, and that's a lot, Paul. Sometimes we usually have 3 or 4, but there's a lot of teams that could win it. Mexico City's in the 6th spot right now. They're alone at 7-3 off next week. London leads all 6 and 3s as a division leader. They're in the 7th spot. Fort Worth is in the 8th spot at 6-3. That head-to-head game from Impact Monday, Paul. Minnesota beating Indianapolis. That big rivalry game. Yeah, and think about this, Paul. They are the 9-10 spot. We are 1 spot away from that being an 8-9 wild card playoff game in Minnesota and Indianapolis. That would be unbelievable. San Diego is 6-4. They are in that 11th spot, and Vancouver leads the Pacific, so they take the last spot. Louisiana, D.C., Houston, Alamo City. They're all right there. A tough loss for Louisiana takes them tumbling out for the moment, but I think they still have it's their spot to lose essentially, Paul, because they have a better strength of victory than San Diego. They just have to start stacking up some wins.
Yeah, and when you have the number 1 pass offense in Indianapolis, it's something you can't ignore. Ryan Roosevelt's been unreal all season long. I'm not sure if he's on pace to set any records as of right now, but I'll tell you what, that he's got to be the most interesting player to watch play as far as season 20 in SFL goes.
You have one of the top scoring offenses in Vegas, top rushing offense in Mexico City, top passing offense in Indianapolis, and none of those teams are in the top 4. It's just, it's
wild.
It's a league right now that is littered with talent, and we can't wait to see how it stacks up over the next 3 weeks of the season. If you've been watching This Week in the SFL on Next Level Sports, stay tuned for more SFL coverage here on NLSE. And if you're on our SFL YouTube channel getting ready for the Monday Night Spectacular between Baltimore and Arizona, Season 19 Championship rematch, that is coming your way in just a little bit. For Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been This Week in the SFL, Week 11 edition. We will see y'all next time. Stay tuned for more SFL action. Welcome to Impact Monday with Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine. Arizona and Baltimore tonight. Season 19 championship rematch. It doesn't get any better than this. And Paul, even though I put this on the schedule late. Usually championship rematches happen early, right? But put on the schedule late because I thought, I think Arizona and Baltimore are still going to be in contention. What I didn't know is that they'd be two of the top 3 teams in the league right now. Both have lost one game by a very small margin, and both are ready to do it all again here tonight to try and fight for home field advantage.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I cannot wait for this game to kick off. We saw a very close championship game. It came down to one play, one call, and I know Arizona feels as if they have unfinished business. And I also know that Baltimore, they just won the last 3 championships. I don't know if you heard that or not, Cam. But
yeah,
hey, they're trying to stay on top, and it's going to be an absolutely great game with 2 of the best teams we've seen this season. And I can't wait to kick off. Can we kick off right now?
We are almost there, Paul. Let's get to some headlines. Arizona, they win with offense. They have scored 30-plus points in 7 of 9 games this season. They are 5th in the league in scoring at 33 1/3 points per game, and that is their franchise record in the progression era. This offense is humming. Baltimore wins with defense. 18.3 points per game allowed, best. 324 yards allowed, best. 1 rushing touchdown. 1, Paul. Least. 251 passing yards allowed, only 2nd. This defense is a force. Milestones tonight, DJ Moses, 92 yards away from 9,000. He'd be the 17th running back to do that. And Giovanni Bolt is 8 tackles away from 1,000. 23rd player to do that, but as a free safety, that is all the more impressive.
And as far as Baltimore, they're winning with defense, but you can't forget about their offense. They are a high-flying offense that they can put 7 points up in the blink of an eye. And the Scorpions' defense is solid as well. I know these headlines are showing Arizona's offense and Baltimore's defense, but these 2 teams are the complete package as far as franchises in the SFL, and I can't wait for this rematch.
All right, Mike O'Neill, what do you got for us to preview tonight's matchup?
Thank you, Cam and Paul in the booth. Appreciate you guys. And listen, gentlemen, I've got a fun fact for you. What if I told you that Baltimore coming into tonight's matchup was statistically the underdog? That's right. I said it. Baltimore, the underdog tonight statistically. Arizona's just doing everything right. So we go into this matchup tonight. Ashley Jackson's got 22 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. She's got 100 QBR on the season, 8.4 yards per attempt. And the receivers, I mean, this is unbelievable. It's unheard of right here. Connor Weston, TJ Punk, and Ryan Owens are all 3 averaging over 15 yards per reception, which is unheard of in this league. Pretty crazy. They're spreading the ball efficiently. And not only that, let's talk about the run game for a second. DJ Moses, number 1 in rushing yards with 1,150 on the season. Number 1 in rushing touchdowns with 12. And number 3 in yards per carry with 5.8 yards per carry. Arizona firing on all cylinders on their offense. And not just that, their defense, they're number 1 in 3rd down allowances. They've only allowed 3rd down to be converted 47% of the time. So how do you stop that? Let's talk about the weaknesses of Arizona really quick. If you're Baltimore coming into this matchup, their only loss comes from Vegas, and they're essentially where Ashley Jackson was forced to throw the ball 48 times through 6 interceptions. And, Moses was shut down in that game, only averaging 3.5 yards per carry in that game. And even still with that, Vegas needed a pick 6 to win that game. So they needed help from their defense. It's a very, very tall order for Baltimore coming into this game, but it is possible if you take away the deep ball and shut down DJ Moses. So all of the attention's going to be on that front 7 tonight for Baltimore. And pretty much the same on the other side. If we look at Baltimore, Wigmore's 101 QBR. He's got 17 touchdowns to 14 interceptions, so not bad. He's playing really, really good. Murray, though, Warren Murray's he's got 9 touchdowns, but he's only got 572 yards this season, so hasn't been used quite as often as DJ Moses. They are spreading the ball on offense to their receivers. Chima's got 63 targets, Irvin's got 58, and Murray's got 58. So pretty evenly coursed across the board there. And their defense, this is the big one. This is what's going to become a huge factor in tonight's game. Their defense has only allowed 1 rushing touchdown all season, Baltimore's defense. They're only allowing 73 yards on the ground per game. It's going to be a huge, huge help coming into tonight's matchup with Arizona, with DJ Moses on the other side. This is a huge one to watch tonight. Like I was saying before with Arizona, it's going to be the same thing. Baltimore's got those receivers that can take the top off of a defense very quickly. So Arizona's defense, ultimately the same thing. The front seven, it's going to be all on them. Their linebackers have to be able to play the run without the help of the corners and the safeties. Those have to be reserved for the deep ball, and the defensive line, either one of these defensive line, have to get pressure. The first one that can do that, the first team that can get pressure on the quarterback, the opposing quarterback, that's going to be the team that takes it all tonight. I'm telling you right now, it is going to be a tough one tonight in Baltimore, where, as we know, Baltimore does not lose often. So I'm excited to see what happens and how it shapes up. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we're going to send it back to Cam and Paul in the booth. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Who you got? 67-55. Baltimore leads Paul, and the community not doing too shabby. 78-41 on the season. What do you think? I don't want you to give me a winner prediction because you're calling the game, Paul, but give me a score prediction.
A score prediction. Oh boy. I'm going to go with 31-27.
31-27. We'll see how it all shapes out. Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis there in our studio getting ready for halftime and post-game coverage. We got Ron Haynes, Justin Reside, Stephen Hacker all nailing it down in our stat truck force tonight. Paul and I have your call coming up next. It is Impact Monday. Don't go anywhere. Arizona, Baltimore.
We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners. To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing. Going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time. And the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Auburn Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's go to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown.
and Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about EJ DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line? Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they bite him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Tonight, Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their third straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown Denver, they're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Sully back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he puts it down. Touchdown, DC. Greg Corky is
They got to pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Sully's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
As the sun sets on another SFL season, the Arizona Scorpions set their sights on the ghosts of season 19's past. The Scorpions in town tonight to take on the Baltimore Vultures at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in a season 19 championship rematch that we've all been waiting for since the schedule was released. Good evening and welcome to Impact Monday. Along with Ron Haynes and Justin Reside in the Stats Truck, Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis back in studio. Paul Sarp with me in the booth. I'm Cameron Irvine. Good evening to you all. Paul, we're ready to go.
Ready to go, we are, Cam, and I'll tell you what, Arizona Scorpions 8-1 this season, with the only loss coming to Las Vegas, 24-27, and then you have the Baltimore Vultures 7-1, lost to Fort Worth, 23-18, and we saw in the pregame show both of these teams, they can put numbers up in bunches. Baltimore's defense has been locked down all season long, and I cannot wait to see how this game plays out tonight, and couldn't be more excited to be with you on Impact Monday, Cam.
Ashley Jackson will call the toss at midfield. She has won the toss, and Arizona will elect to receive. A change in strategy from the Scorpions tonight against the Vultures, knowing their tendencies. Let the chess game begin. Well, Paul, the fourth quarter and overtime of this season 19 championship game, it was interesting. Both these teams seemingly shut down against one another, trying to win a football game. Shark Tarkington kicks it, and we'll see what we have in store tonight. 3 yards deep in the end zone. Ryan Owens on the return, gets it out to the 22-yard line. And Ashley Jackson hits the field for the first time tonight. She is sensational, her 7th season with Arizona, making her first All-Star appearance last season.
And Ashley Jackson has, over the past few seasons, helped Arizona change the story after a long and brutal history back in OKC.
1st and 10 for Jackson. She'll start it off with a pass to DJ Moses, who shakes off Ben Stackenpaper to pick up 4 yards. Let's check out the Arizona starting offense. Ashley Jackson, your quarterback. DJ Moses at running back. Mentioned at the beginning of the show, 92 yards to 9,000 tonight. Justin Williams, the fullback. Ryan Owens, Connor Weston, TJ Punk are your receivers outside. Will Todd inside at tight end. On the line, left tackle EJ DeQ. Left guard Patrick Kelly, and right tackle Sean Crooked is on the line. Moses takes a handoff to pick up 4 more and picks up 3rd and 2.
And a great job opening drive here to get a 3rd and manageable. And talking to Eddie Gage this weekend, one of his keys to victory was winning 1st down and staying out of 2nd and 3rd long situations.
3rd and 2 at the 30. 10 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Jackson out of the shotgun will fire down the field. That pass is tipped up in the air, nearly caught by Weston, but it'll fall to the turf, and Arizona goes 3 and out on their opening possession. Troy Loshaw in coverage.
And I like the strategy from Arizona electing to receive the ball to try and start off the game with the lead, but this Baltimore Vultures defense is something else this season and is able to get Ashley Jackson and the Scorpions off of the field with a chance to take the early lead themselves.
So Arizona will punt the football away. 1 minute and 4 seconds in. High snap, but fielded. Ivory Irvin is the returner for Baltimore, and he stands at his 34-yard line and breaks a tackle, gets out to the 41. So pretty good field position coming up for the Vultures, who are led by Jack Wigmore. Wigmore this season is 1st in the SFL in completion percentage, 77.9. He has the 2nd highest quarterback rating at 101.
And his numbers don't necessarily jump off of the scale other than his completion percentage, but Wigmore, a proven winner, a proven champion, and an incredibly smart quarterback in this league.
1st and 10 of the Baltimore 41-yard line. Handoff goes to Warren Murray, who shakes Parker Thomas out of his shoes, cuts it outside, but Eddie Gage is there to wrap him up after a 2-yard pickup. Let's meet the Baltimore Vulture offense that includes Jack Wigmore and Warren Murray. Fullback T. Roy Gaines. 4 wide to check out. Ivory Irvin, David Anderson, Daley Holder, and Mac Chima. Watch for Anderson on those slot slants tonight. Caesar Ackerman is the Baltimore tight end. In total, 12 all-star appearances out of this Baltimore offense. 2nd and 8 at the 43. Wigmore drops to pass, fires out to a wide-open Warren Murray, and I mean wide open all the way to the Arizona 44-yard line. That's a pickup of 13 and good enough for a Baltimore 1st down.
And in last week's victory over San Diego, Warren Murray had himself a day with 15 rushes, 84 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown, 13 receptions, 61 yards, and a receiving touchdown as well. So I expect Baltimore to get Warren Murray involved often and early.
Wigmore to throw. He'll dump it off short and just behind Everett Garrison, who was trying to cover Ivory Irvin. He lost him on the play. Irvin picks up 12 and gets it down to the Arizona 32-yard line.
And that's 12 already for Ivory Irvin. And going back to their last game against San Diego, Ivory Irvin also showed out, had 6 receptions for 120 yards, adding a touchdown as well in their 43-17 win.
8:15 left. Baltimore's got the early momentum. Heavy box here for Arizona as they stack it up on Murray. Pickup of just 2. Murray has been struggling to get going on the ground this season. They're trying to get him more involved.
And a great job from this Arizona front. So far in season 20, they're the 2nd leading team in sacks with 30, and they're the 4th team with the most tackles for losses with 74.
2nd and 8 at the 30, and Wigmore's pass, and the traffic is caught! Oh, what a play by Daley Holder down to the 15-yard line. That was just sensational.
Daley Holder catching us all off guard there, catching the tip pass. A little risky pass, but great job to be in the right place at the right time for Daley Holder, making his 33rd reception of the season.
All momentum here early on with Baltimore. They did not flinch, not getting the football first here to start the night. They've got 3 receivers to the left side of the line. 7:18 to go. Wigmore drops to pass. He'll flip it outside, hauled in at the 11-yard line. A 4-yard gain for Mac Chima. Garrison brings him down. So we've seen Chima, Irvin, Holder, Murray, all with catches on the opening drive.
Jack Wigmore is it's what he does is get everyone in the offense involved, and they're just an extremely efficient offense, and this first drive for them is proving to be nothing different.
Wigmore guns, 2nd and 6, fires, caught. Irvin will not be able to get there. Sean Moore holds him up, sets up a 3rd and 1 at the 7 for the Vultures, their first 3rd down of the evening.
Sean Moore, 52 tackles on the season, 9th in the league with 11 passes deflected, which helps Arizona be leading the league with 62 passes deflected so far through 10 weeks.
6:16 to go in the first. 3 set to the left. Wigmore goes opposite direction and throws a touchdown to Caesar Ackerman, the 5th different player to make a catch on the opening drive. And the Vultures off to a hot start in this rematch.
An incredible job by the Vultures. A great drive to take the lead in this Season 19 championship rematch. Caesar Ackerman with his 2nd touchdown on the season. No one was able to cover him there, and he has helped the Vultures take a 6-0 lead against the Arizona Scorpions.
Well, I would say Baltimore is ready to silence all of the doubters in SFL Nation. What about you, Paul? 8 play, 67-yard drive. Wigmore goes 6 for 6. Couldn't make it any easier than that.
You definitely can't make it any easier than that, and it just shows Jack Wigmore at a 78% completion percentage, going 100% on his opening drive. It shows that he came to play tonight, Cam.
So 7-0, Baltimore out in front. Tarkington will keep the leg warm. And Arizona, to be fair, got positive yardage on 2 of their 3 plays on the opening drive, but just couldn't squeeze the 3rd down and ended up getting off the field pretty quickly. This is going to be Owens now from his goal line. Up past the 20, spins inside of the 24. Jackson in Arizona gets to try it all again. You don't like to be down against Baltimore on the road, Paul, but if any team feels comfortable being down on the road against Baltimore, it's probably Arizona.
It's got to be Arizona for having one of the highest scoring offenses this season and even last season. You got to feel confident only 7 down.
3 receivers for Jackson. Both backs stay in to block, and they didn't need it. That pass is caught by Connor Weston, wide open over the middle for the Arizona 40.
Connor Weston, one of Ashley Jackson's favorite targets on the season, has been playing phenomenally so far, and already with his first catch, getting the first down for Arizona and getting things moving here.
Bolt with the tackle. He's now 7 away from 1,000. There's a look at Weston. 1st and 10 at the 40. For the Scorpions. 7 in the box for the Vultures. Jackson going to drop back and throw again. Jackson fires. Outside. Caught. A little late, but enough of a cushion there, at least for now. Will Todd with the catch. His first of the night. 2nd and 4.
Hashtag throw to the tight end on Will Todd. Making an impact here. Trying to make it 2nd and 4 for him. So as to Eddie's point earlier in the game and this weekend, he wanted to win on first down, and Will Todd helps him do it on this drive.
Jackson, 2nd and 4. Doesn't look to Moses. Instead goes long, and it's picked off at the 27-yard line. Elijah Warfield takes that one away in one-on-one coverage. It's a bit of an arm punt, but not what Ashley Jackson was looking for on that drive.
Definitely not what she was looking for. 10 push-ups will get you there, and I'll tell you what, that is a great play from this Baltimore Vultures defense. They're number 1 for a reason, and just add another turnover to the list of turnovers this season and a chance to go up 2 possessions here.
Only the 18th pick for Ashley. She has a positive touchdown to interception ratio. That's part of the reason why she has a QBR of 100. One of 3 quarterbacks over 100 as Wigmore's pass is caught by Ackerman, but the bump pushes him back. That's Eddie Gage again on the stop, and this Arizona defense is going to need to show a little bit more of a pulse. That is a pickup of just 1 for the Vultures. Arizona's defense up front, Dede Sachs, Alex Constantine, Hunter Norwood, and David Tilley, second in the league in sacks this season. Linebackers Sean Moore, J.R. Lawless, and Nathaniel Diggs. Corners Skinny Washington, Parker Thomas, and Everett Garrison. The safeties are Iverson Gamble and Eddie Gage. Arizona jumps offside. That'll wipe away Eddie Gage's hit on Chima, and we'll bring up a 2nd and 3 on the back end of the play.
Looks like this Arizona defense just a little antsy so far, going up against Baltimore, but I'm sure once they kind of find their groove, find the momentum that they're looking for, maybe get a stop or 2 against Jack Wigmore and the Vultures, they just need to lock in here and let the game come to them.
We'll look at Jack's data tonight. They have Baltimore as 4.5-point favorites, so laying it pretty thick given that it's a championship rematch and Arizona has a better record, but Jack's data knows all. Over under 51.5, so expecting a little bit of a low-scoring game tonight. Paul's prediction of 31-27 would hit the over. Wigmore on 2nd down and 4. Pass is caught. Ackerman first down. Looks like Caesar Ackerman's going to be very involved in this ball game tonight. Another first down for the Vultures.
Jack Wigmore hasn't thrown an incompletion yet. He threw one on that offsides call, but playing phenomenally so far. It's looked like he went out there and done exactly what he planned to do coming into tonight.
8 for 8 for 70 yards and a touchdown for Wigmore. There's his updated numbers there. Murray is stuffed behind the line. Parker Thomas in run coverage drops Murray for a loss of 1. 2nd down.
That's a great job from Parker Thomas to get into the backfield, bring the running back down for a loss, and you just got to get after Warren Murray and get after Jack Wigmore, forcing him into making maybe a possibly poor decision.
It's Parker Thomas's 4th tackle for loss, 75th on the season for Arizona. That's 4th in the SFL. 2nd and 11, 3.5 to go in the first. Handoff, that is Gaines, and Gaines able to muscle his way for a yard. J.R. Lawless with the stop. 3rd and 10 for Baltimore upcoming.
Heroic Gaines getting the ball there. He has 30 carries on the season, so we don't see a whole lot of him, but he does average 3.7 yards per carry, so he is somewhat efficient every time he does touch the ball.
4 wide for Wigmore out of the gun. They run slants. Arizona is all over it, and the pass is incomplete. Wow, I thought there for a second that David Anderson had it. Knocked out of his hands. Good defensive play, and Baltimore will have to punt the football away.
Just like you, Kim, I definitely thought he had possession of it, but as you mentioned, Arizona's defense was all over it, and as I mentioned earlier in the drive, Arizona just needed to find their groove and get Baltimore's offense off of the field, and then you can let Ashley Jackson and your offense kind of let the game come to them as well and try to tie this game up.
Punt is away for Baltimore, and Owens with a spin move past the 18 gets to the 24. Let's meet that Baltimore defense. Joe Duncan, Al Walker, Nate Brown, Saron Yates IV. Just straight nasty up front for the Vultures. Linebackers Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, and Alvin Mack. Corners Enzo Bolt, Marvin Himes, Ben Stackenpaper, Elijah Warfield. Safeties Giovanni Bolt and Troy Loshaw. Baltimore 2nd in the league in sacks, just like Arizona, with 30. 2nd in picks with 27, and 2nd in the league with 3 pick sixes. Jackson hit as she threw, and that pass is incomplete. Nate Brown applying the pressure, as he likes to say. The Vultures are circling, and it's 2nd and 10.
Going back to Saron Yates IV, an absolute beast down or up front. 11.5 sacks on the season, which is 2nd, and 1st in the league in sacks is on the opposing defensive line. Hunter Norwood leading the league with 12.5 sacks and leading the league with 22 tackles for loss.
2:47 to go in the first quarter. Arizona got to get things moving. They look to DJ Moses to do that, and Moses has a pickup of 13. Good enough for a first down. Loshaw on the stop.
DJ Moses, what a season he's having so far. First in the league with 1,150 rushing yards heading into tonight. Also first in the league with 12 touchdowns. And if you're third in the league with a 5.8 average per rush, you got to be doing something right. And huge credit to Arizona's offensive line for being as strong as they have this season.
First down at the 37. Jackson out of the shotgun now with 2 receivers top of the screen. And Jackson will throw into a crowded middle, but the pass is caught for a 7-yard pickup to the 44. Bolt tackles Will Todd. Going back to Moses, Paul, about a month ago, Bailey O'Shaughnessy was your rushing leader. He is totally faded in the last month, and DJ Moses has taken full advantage. I don't think many people would guess that he's your rushing leader. Very underrated.
Yeah, to have 220 yards last week and add 3 more touchdowns on in a game against Carolina, DJ Moses is just dominating this season.
Hand off to Justin Williams. His first carry, his 20th of the season, will come up just shy. Nate Brown on the stop will set up a 3rd and 1.
Nate Brown also had himself a game last week, had 3.5 sacks in their game against San Diego. On the season, he now has 5.5, so to get 3.5 in one game is incredible.
Deep shot, Jackson! Passes incomplete. Broken up by Ben Stackenpaper, who's been balling the last few weeks of the season, and Arizona will have to punt again.
Yeah, Ben Stackenpaper almost had number 8 on the season, currently 3rd in the league in season 20 in interceptions. Went and put it all out on the line there and was extremely close to coming away with another interception.
Well, Arizona, at least for now, going to keep the offense on the field. Maybe trying to get Baltimore to jump early on in this game. And they will not. And Arizona will burn the timeout. 1 less to go for the 2-minute offense later on. Arizona 3 drives, all under 2 minutes. They've been able to move the ball just a little bit more on each of those drives. 8, 20, and 22 yards. But it's been a little slow moving here in the early stages. They'll try and pin Baltimore deep, play field position.
Yeah, to have a high-flying offense as you do in Arizona, come up those first 3 drives a little short, not necessarily being able to move the ball against this Vultures defense isn't ideally how they wanted to come out, but I am sure once they make some adjustments to this defense, they will be firing on all cylinders again.
Fair catch called for by Irvin at the 22-yard line, and that's where Baltimore will set up. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by Dags Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Well, Baltimore the early upper hand, but Jackstad is on to something. Defensive game here in the first quarter. Wigmore's going to start with a heavy look. They'll hand it off to Gaines, and boy, that defensive front totally pushed down that Baltimore offensive line to allow their linebackers like Sean Moore to come in and clean up behind.
Yeah, when you have a defensive line on both sides that you're able to get 30 sacks through 10 weeks of action is just incredible. And alongside the sack leader, you have Alex Constantine with 7.5 sacks, David Tilley with 3 sacks, D.D. Sachs with 3 sacks, Sean Moore with 3 of his own. Just a great job from this defense this season.
Arizona jumps again, and unfortunately it's on the very opposite side of the play. Thomas makes a nice open field tackle on Murray, but it will set up 2nd and 5 instead. That is frustrating.
Yeah, it is. If you're Arizona, you're down 7 against the 3-time champions. You can't just be giving them free yards because that's just going to open the offense up and continue drives for Baltimore to increase this lead even more.
D.D. Sachs struggling there at the top of that line, which shifts left on 2nd and 5. 15 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. They hand off to Murray going that direction. Murray spin move, breaks off a tackle, and picks up a first down to the Baltimore 34-yard line. Murray's longest run of the night previously was 2, so we'll take that all night.
We'll definitely take that, and we'll absolutely take moving the chains and extending this drive. And we've seen all season long Warren Murray is a force to be reckoned with.
End of the first quarter. Baltimore 7, Arizona nothing. Impact Monday revving up here on the SFL YouTube channel. You think the community cares about this game, Paul? 92 watching right now. About to hit 100. For a game in Week 11, I can assure you that that is not common with all these teams falling out of playoff contention, Paul, and starting to check into next season. But everybody trying to see if Arizona can get the job done against Baltimore, or if the Vultures will continue to be your championship favorites. That pass is hauled in by Ackerman. His 4th grab of the night, picks up 3. That leads all players.
Going back to that championship game, the first quarter that we just saw is not what we saw in the championship game, where Arizona was up 14-7 after 1 quarter of play. So they have to make the adjustments necessary to tie this game back up and keep Baltimore from scoring.
Wigmore fires outside, just out of the reach, but a nice job by Iverson Gamble to stay within the play. Everett Garrison comes over to help him with the stop, so 3rd and inches upcoming.
We saw Ivory Irvin on that opening drive from Baltimore, just making the catch, wasn't able to get the first down. A great job from the defense to push him back and bring a 3rd and inches opportunity up. And if you're Arizona, you just have to get Jack Wigmore and the offense off of the field.
3rd and short for Baltimore. Murray averaging 2.3 yards a carry, gains 0.5. They'll throw it to Murray. He's open. First down. Arizona giving up those flats so far tonight. Vultures get it near midfield. Gamble and Moore combine for the stop.
I have a feeling that this Scorpions defense is kind of sitting back a little, not letting Baltimore take the deep shot. We saw Arizona's offense take that deep shot that was almost intercepted in the first quarter, but no real big splash plays yet in this game.
11-12 for 87 yards for Wigmore. Hit as he threw, and the pass is perfectly delivered to Ivory Irvin for a first down to the Arizona 39-yard line. Wigmore is dialed in tonight, and that one incompletion came on 3rd and 10, but easier said than done, Paul, to get Baltimore in a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, Jack Wigmore is just playing great so far. 12 for 13, 92.3 completion percentage with a touchdown to add. You have a 123 quarterback rating. Got to keep playing like that way to help your team win.
And off Murray. Murray got a block set up and gets a first down to the Arizona 24. Perfection out of Baltimore's offense. And look at Gaines. Runs over to Murray to congratulate him after the play. That's true teamwork. Look at him on the outside getting the block.
Yeah, that is one of the most dynamic running back duos this league may have ever seen. When you have someone like T-Roy Gaines in front of you blocking you and then coming up to congratulate you, it's just a great thing to see.
9:06 to go in the first half. Baltimore playing their style. 8 plays, 53 yards, 4 passes, 3 runs on this drive. Another offside for Arizona. Wigmore probably going to decline it. Ackerman with another catch. Arizona's got to get a grip.
Yeah, the 3rd offsides we've seen so far in this first half. And with Caesar Ackerman with that catch, that's his 4th of the night. 20 yards, you have a touchdown, and that sole touchdown has been what we've seen so far tonight.
Norwood is the culprit. Neither team with a sack in the first half. Both we mentioned that both teams are really good at sacking the quarterback, but both teams are also really good at protecting the quarterback. Ashley Jackson's been sacked just 5 times this season on 334 dropbacks. That is easily first in the SFL. Wigmore sacked 9 times. That's the 4th fewest, and Warren Murray is walking into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore. They are running roughshod.
And they came into this matchup at home against the team that almost beat them in the championship last season, and they absolutely wanted to silence the doubters, and they came out and started running fast, Cam, off to a 13-0 lead to start this game on Impact Monday.
Our stats will eventually update. I can give you the numbers while we wait, though. 155 to 50 in total yards for Baltimore, including 48 on the ground. They have not been the greatest run team this season, but they are finding some lanes against Arizona to start the night. 14-0. Baltimore is on top. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time. Our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Ryan Owens to the 24. And we'll see what Arizona does with it.
Yeah, Arizona has got to have an answer, and you're not going to beat the 3-time defending champions just letting them go down the field like you want them to go down the field. You just got to lock in on defense and play a little bit smarter on offense.
Jackson, good not to look Moses' way. He was covered. Instead, finds TJ Punk for the first time tonight. Moves the chains to the Arizona 40.
TJ Punk, 44 receptions coming into the night, 657 yards, averaging 14.9 yards per catch, which is 25th in the league. And to add 4 touchdowns on it, TJ Punk has got to help Ashley Jackson out a little bit in helping to get this offense rolling.
$8:15 to go in the first half. Hand off to Justin Williams, and Arizona getting the fullback involved. You could see the differences in how these teams are approaching this game. Ackerman with just 27 catches coming in, but tonight he has 5. And then Justin Williams with his second carry, he only had 19 carries coming in.
Definitely wanted to try to catch each other off guard, and it is most definitely interesting to see the chess match play out in front of us.
Handoff into a mess. Baltimore doing a nice job of clogging up the running lanes. Loshaw with the stop. 3rd and 3 for Arizona. This is a big one. You can feel momentum slipping away from them. They are 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far.
Yeah, you got to be able to move the chains against the #1 offense in the league. Only out.
Pass caught for a first down at the Baltimore 42-yard line. I thought there maybe for a second Weston dropped it, but Weston able to hold on to the football, and Arizona's in Baltimore territory.
Yeah, Weston a little quiet last week in their win against the Carolina Skyhawks. Only 2 receptions, already matching that total tonight.
Moses, nothing on the carry. Wrapped up by Walker, 2nd and 10.
And as we mentioned earlier, Moses only 92 yards away from 9,000 in his career. And the way that this Vultures defense has been playing, he's going to need to find a different gear to maybe beat some of these defenders down the field.
6:25 to go in the first half. 14-0. Baltimore leads Arizona. Arizona on their best drive of the night. That pass is caught. First down to the 24. 18-yard pickup. Now they're going to go no huddle. Connor Weston with another catch. His 3rd. Arizona likes what they see in this Baltimore defense. Ashley Jackson saunters back to the line. 6:06 to go in the first half. Line shifts to the right, and a nickel look for Baltimore. Jackson fires, caught. Ryan Owens steps out of bounds at the 17. Here they go again after a 7-yard gain.
The Scorpions turning up the heat here.
Jackson trap. Moses first down inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. This has been an excellent no-huddle set for Arizona. This is the 8th play of the drive. Jackson looking, spot route. Oh, nearly late to stacking paper. Pass caught by Owens down to the 3. Baltimore showing blitz. They run right into it. Moses trying to get inside, and he scores. Touchdown, Scorpions. They cap off a very compelling drive with 6 points.
And that is exactly what Arizona needed to help bring the momentum back. They caught the Vultures defense lacking on this drive, caught him off tempo, and DJ Moses with his 101st rushing touchdown of his career.
Moses, 29 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown here to start the night, including 1 catch for 4 yards. And that'll settle the Scorpions down a little bit, hush the crowd here at Sports Gamers Online. Arizona's defense going to have to figure out this Vulture offense conundrum, as the extra point is good.
And to be able to make it a one-possession game again is exactly what the Scorpions needed to do. And they needed to score on that drive, or things would have possibly gotten a little out of hand, say, if Baltimore went down and made it a 21-0 lead.
Five and a half to go, 14-7. Baltimore kicks it away, or Arizona rather kicks it away to Baltimore. Irvin from his 2-yard line on the return up to the 22. They've done a good job containing him. Sometimes Irvin can be game changers in close matchups like this. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th for season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the hashtag convention alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast. Reserve your special group rate today. We'll see you there. Empty backfield for Wigmore. Hits Ackerman, his 6th catch of the first half. Picks up 7. And a credit to Caesar, he's been ready for the moment and has had sure hands all night.
Absolutely not dropping a pass yet. You only have 27 receptions coming into the season. Only players below you on the roster, David Anderson with 11 on the season and T. Roy Gaines with 2. So Baltimore most definitely looking to target Ackerman a lot in this game to catch the Scorpions off guard.
Hand off to Murray. He's got a first down. I think there was another flag on the play.
Yeah, it looks like that was another offsides, and the 4th one of the night for Arizona.
Sheesh.
And that's 4 opportunities that you're giving the Baltimore Vultures to move the chains and continue their drive. Just not a strong start in what we're familiar with seeing from this Arizona defensive front.
Off another offside. It's a first down. Murray able to turn the corner and pick up 7. Looks like Arizona's going to give him that, at least for now. Murray chewing up the yardage outside the numbers. 4:13 to go in the first half. Arizona hanging in there.
That's a great job from Murray on the outside there. That's just great footwork to keep both feet in bounds to pick up an extra 4 or 5 yards.
Second and 3. Wigmore fires. There's another flag. I don't think that's on Arizona, though. Might be a hold. And the Vultures, that came out late.
Let's see what we got.
That's going to back up the Vultures on the hold. Second and 13. It's called on Clayton. And that's a break Arizona needed to try and get Baltimore back in a rare 3rd and long situation. Wigmore going to try and dig him out of this. Wigmore fires. Oh, what a beautiful dot to the 45 for a first down. Daly Holder has been a little quiet tonight, but his 2 receptions in the first half have both been spectacular.
Absolutely. That first one after a tip pass to bring the ball down, and this one, an absolutely beautiful pass from Wigmore to find Daly Holder, and for Daly Holder to fight for the first down, to avoid a 3rd down opportunity with a chance to take your offense off of the field. Great job from Holder and a great pass from Wigmore.
First and 10 of the Baltimore 45. Warren Murray's going backwards. That's a 4-yard loss. Sean Moore and J.R. Lawless in there. Linebackers have been doing most of the dirty work up front while the D-line handles the big hog mollies up front.
Absolutely, and a player we haven't heard of other than that his early first offsides was Hunter Norwood. Been a little quiet so far.
Wigmore's pass caught by Irvin. First down to the 42. Back-to-back second and longs, Paul, that are converted through the air to avoid third down.
Yeah, and for Arizona, so far you're 1 for 3 on third downs, and Arizona is 2 for 3, making it, or not even on third downs, just moving the chains and making this Arizona defense not necessarily look like they've been playing this season.
2-minute break, 2-minute warning. Baltimore trying to get some extra points before the half. Try and separate themselves from the 8-1 Scorpions. You're watching Impact Monday, presented by APM Music on YouTube.
If you're Baltimore here, you have to try to leave as little time as possible on the clock because you don't want Arizona to come down and answer any points scored here.
2 minutes to go in the first half. Split backs, handoff. T-Roy gains lots of space. 10-yard pickup down to the Arizona 32-yard line. First down for the Vultures.
That hole that was just made there from this offensive line, T-Roy Gaines just rambling through and able to pick up another first down on this drive for Baltimore.
You could tell these guys have been playing together for years, Paul. I have not seen more camaraderie on a broadcast this season that we've done, Paul. I mean, it just seems like everybody's picking each other up out there.
Absolutely.
First and 10 at the Scorpion 32. 1:33 to go. Baltimore has all 3 timeouts. Wigmore's pass is incomplete. Sean Moore out there defending on Ackerman, and that's the first time that Ackerman has been targeted and did not come up with a catch. 6 catches, 7 targets tonight.
And the #1 team in the league in passes deflected, the Arizona Scorpions, and Sean Moore with another one added on to the total and forces Baltimore in another second and long situation, which Baltimore's been dominating on second down.
Second and 10, a minute and a half to go in the first half of play. That pass is hauled in by Mac Chima. That'll set up a 3rd and 5 at the Arizona 27.
And that's only the second time we've heard Mac Chima's name, another big-time threat with his second reception on the night.
3rd and 5. Murray going backwards, and Arizona cleans it up. Baltimore, that's odd, going to call the timeout. That is going to save Arizona about 40 seconds of clock left here in this second quarter. Very strange decision there by the Vultures after a 4-yard loss.
Looks like Baltimore just wanted to take their time getting their special teams unit out there and look to make it a 17-7 game.
Shark Tarkington, 47-yard field goal. First field goal attempt of the night by either team. The kick is up and good. The Vultures have a 10-point advantage. Coming up on the SFL APM Music Halftime Report, Tyler Falk, a.k.a. I'm Blue, and Chris Curtis, a.k.a. Dabba Dee Dabba Die, give you analysis of this championship rematch of Season 19. Checking in with Tyler for ins and outs of the playoff race and convention talk. What to look forward to, all that and more on the APM Music Halftime Report.
Going back to that field goal, Cam, Shark Tarkington, that's going to be 19 for 20 on the season, and the all-time leader, that's going to be his 284th field goal made in his career.
Owens returns to the 24. For those not understanding the nickname of reference, you'll see there ain't a lot of red in that studio tonight.
And I know myself, as long as myself and probably a few other ones, I know we all look forward to those, to hear who's going to be joining us in the booth at halftime.
Looks like they got their meals before halftime, so they're getting it all in. Looking good. Justin Williams is outside. He's going to take a no-gainer. Shoved out of bounds. Will stop the clock with 49 seconds left. Really interesting to see what Arizona does with this. I have no clue why Baltimore gave him this opportunity. Arizona's got to take advantage.
Yeah, and Ashley Jackson just didn't like the reads she had, so you got it outside to Justin Williams, and thankfully enough, he was able to be tackled out of bounds to save both of those timeouts.
Second and 10 of the 24, and Jackson's pass is knocked down by Yates as he's falling to the ground. That is sensational athleticism from the chef.
That is just an incredible play from a big-time player that has been a force for every quarterback that he's been faced up against this season. Just a truly remarkable play there.
Trips right for Arizona on a 3rd and 10, 45 seconds left. That pass is caught by Owens, turning the corner, 50, Owens has room, 30, 20, one man to beat, tackled at the 16-yard line. Timeout, Arizona. He turned the corner, Paul, and no one was there.
With the biggest play on offense for the Scorpions team, what a time to do it. Ryan Owens getting outside, beating the defender. That man can't catch him, getting it down all the way to the 16-yard line to give your team a chance to score points before you head into the locker rooms at halftime. What a play.
Bull with the tackle, his third. He's now 5 away from 1,000. Moses still a ways to go to get to 9,000 on his milestone. What a play from Owens all the way to the 16-yard line. A 60-yard reception. Ron Haynes, Justin Reside in our stat truck tonight. Dialing up the mathematics. 1st and 10 to the Baltimore 16 after the bomb to Owens. Jackson fires middle, caught. Nice open field tackle after an 8-yard gain by Alvin Mack. That's Will Todd on the catch. Down to 25 seconds left. 2nd and 2 from the 8. Jackson out of the shotgun, drops to throw. Jackson fires out to Williams. Williams first down. No, they rule him short. 3rd and inches at the 6. Time ticking away. This is probably the last play they're going to get off before the end of the half. 9 seconds left. Jackson, 8 seconds. Jackson fires to Moses. Moses has space, and Moses is in the end zone for a touchdown. Arizona takes advantage of the questionable clock management from Baltimore at the end of the first half, and they score with less than 10 to go.
And we may have been in for a Baltimore-dominated game from seeing that first half, but Arizona answering the Vultures there with a late first-half touchdown, and instead of heading into halftime down 17-7, we're looking at a chance to a 14-17 first-half game.
4 seconds left. Arizona just gets it under the gun. Jackson 14 of 19 for 163 yards, a touchdown and an interception. The extra point from Cliff Allen is good. 17-14. Baltimore up 3. Wow, that was just, I mean, you don't often, Arizona was jittery early in this game, Paul. You don't often see Baltimore make mistakes like that, and they just, I mean, Arizona took the 7 points, but they never should have had a chance to begin with.
Absolutely, and that pass to Ryan Owens to absolutely beat the coverage and beat the defender down the field to help get your team back into the game is just, it's a remarkable play.
And Irvin runs out the clock on the first half. 17-14 is the lead for Baltimore, and we got a good one shaping up here. Paul, your first half thoughts?
First half thoughts, Baltimore is, the defense is playing great minus that one play to Ryan Owens, and Arizona is just refusing to give up. They want that unfinished business. They want the rematch win against Baltimore. They want to knock Baltimore off the pedestal, but Baltimore, what a tough team. They are making it hard for Arizona, and this second half is going to be a great finish.
Championship rematch looking good early. Arizona down 3, 17-14. Back to SFL Studios. Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis have your halftime report. Paul and I will be back here for the second half in just a moment.
Last time the Scorpions were against the Baltimore Vultures was in the Season 19 championship, and these two teams seem to have picked up where they left off, a 17-14 game at SGO. Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis, alongside Tyler Falk, almost reversed roles there, as the Blue Crew in the halftime booth ready to go. And let's talk about this game. Arizona comes back with a late touchdown thanks to a 60-yard reception from Ryan Owens, setting them up in the red zone, Tyler, and it kind of erases a really good, dominant first quarter and a half effort from Baltimore to dominate this game.
So Arizona had 0 third down conversions going into the second quarter. All of a sudden, things just start to click. Yes, Moses wasn't able to get going on the ground. Baltimore have done a phenomenal job of limiting him to yards tonight. Only a couple of attempts, 6 total attempts for Mr. Moses, only 29 yards. His counterpart, however, the Warhorse, only has about 30 yards himself, but does have the touchdown, which both running backs also have a touchdown. So both backs playing well. Fullback, however, for your gains edging out just a little bit. Identical rushing yards. Let's just equivalent to that. The real dynamic factor has been the consistency of Jack Wigmore throughout the ball game. He hasn't made any mistakes. He hasn't really forced too many passes. He's been consistent like we've known him to be. Still second in SFL history through all of his seasons in the league. It's a stalwart, making stalwart plays. Jackson had to find her way early. She was hovering right around 50% at one point in completion percentage, having to come back in the resurgent second quarter, which saw them come out with a fantastic nearly like a 2-minute drill drive with an excellent formation that just they could dial up pretty much everything, and everything seemed to work. That got them going, and all of a sudden Ryan Owens, like you mentioned, Curtis, just individual effort, making an individual play.
Yeah,
makes this a 3-point game.
Huge speed downfield for him, which created that opportunity for them to get back into it. Skip with a 199 super chat. 2 blue dudes with a blue heart. I'd say we wear it pretty well, Tyler. I like it. All right, let's move on to the playoff picture. We see if we can get Cam to put up the playoff standings here in just a second. But it's been a couple weeks since I checked in with you. Want to see if your feelings have changed on some of these teams. You called it right off rip a couple weeks ago. Carolina currently on the outside looking in, and they are looking like they may stay there the way things have gone. What else are you seeing?
So let's touch on all the 4 teams I talked about. Carolina, after we had recently talked, continue to slide 3 straight losses, including the one who lost to Arizona and a loss to San Diego. Just haven't been able to find any sort of room to recover. And unfortunately for the Skyhawks, they get Baltimore next week. Sorry, Carolina. I think that's the thing through. Moving on to Sioux Falls, another team that I said would miss the playoffs. The Sparrows themselves falling to Indianapolis, a team who I said would be maybe making the playoffs, and it seems like they have got an uphill battle. Now sitting at 4-5, while the rest of that division sits at 6 wins, 7 wins, and not right up there with them. Sioux Falls still looking like trouble. Indianapolis and London, we touched on Indianapolis continuing to have a pretty decent run of form. They beat Sioux Falls in week 10, and of course they're on their bye week here. They play Atlanta at home next week. That should be fun after Atlanta down the Revolution. London is the final team. I'll quickly talk about the Knights. Well, they'll keep on winning. That's 5 straight for London after they take down Alamo City, who at one point looked like they might be in the middling pack. However, Alamo City now find themselves clearly on the outside looking in at 500 at the moment.
Yeah, very good. And taking a look, to mention London, how about the 5-touchdown performance a couple weeks ago in the Impact Monday game that they were on? And that was a crazy good performance and maybe one of the turning points for London's season going forward. Let's move gears to a couple months into the future, specifically July. where the SFL heads to the Midwest for its SFL convention for the first time. And I want to talk to you. First, I want you to give me an abridged version, a PG version of your favorite convention story from the past.
Well, I've got a bunch of different stories we can tell. I think just meeting everybody time and time again, first time over in Houston, second time, of course, in Las Vegas, and being able to broadcast from a HyperX Arena at MGM was phenomenal. I had a blast meeting you Curtis, and I had a blast meeting Dags and Jeffrey and all those guys. And maybe a favorite story. I'm going to bring it up. It's probably one of everybody's favorite stories. Mr. Irvine crashes an Indian wedding. And then from last season, and also from the Houston convention.
I'm going to need you to clarify which Irvine you're speaking about, just to be clear.
Father Irvine, not Cameron Irvine, otherwise known as Tiberius Bovine, for I believe for London nowadays. He jumps around from team to team so often, it's like he changes sweatshirts.
He's actually in Queen City now.
Oh, see,
there you go.
What I miss every single season. He's going to be the first player. Tiberius Bovine is going to be the first SFL player to play for all SFL franchises that will be active at the time that he retires. So just wait. He's going everywhere. You think he's going to stay in one place? He's going everywhere. Second favorite memory: E.K. Vincent calling a call. Just totally.
We're going to call him
lost hiccups.
Yep, we're going to call him hiccups, and we're going to leave it at that for PG purposes. That's awesome.
Once more, just having the SFL Red Zone experience at the Las Vegas convention. That was fun. Calling 4 games at once, it rotating every so often from big screen to big screen, and seeing everybody react to everything going on at once. Fantastic performance. Can't wait for Ohio. There's a lot more people expected to be there. It's people that has never been there. There's rumblings of Brett Solberg, my favorite and my go-to partner in the broadcast booth on any given sim day. He might make an appearance from Canada. It's just so many people. There's golfing events that it might go down. There's left, right, and center stuff is going to happen. The flag football game. So much to look forward to. My ticket's punched. Curtis, I can't wait for Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio is going to be a lot of fun, and you got a whole bunch of things going on. It's right outside of Great American Ballpark where the Reds play. Likely to see some fireworks at some point that weekend, as long as the weather cooperates, of course. You've got the flag football that is going to happen. You've got the Hall of Fame ceremony, which is always a great time, and few will forget the Houston Convention Hall of Fame speeches that went down. And for those that weren't there, definitely go back into the archives and take a look at those. Those are fun. But I mean, the location is awesome. Even if there's not SFL things to do at that particular time, you've got attractions all over the place. There's a park. There's the Hard Rock Casino 7 minutes down the road. There is a lot to do in that particular area of Cincinnati. There's a lot to do as far as the SFL is concerned, breaking in a new era with with SFL 2K23. So very excited about that. And then just the people, the social atmosphere, the love for the game, the love for the league, the conversations, the laughter, the memories that are all going to be there. If you guys are not planning on being a part of it yet, reconsider if you can, because it's a lot of fun going to convention and being a part of all of that. Skippy and I will be there in Cincinnati, so we look forward to seeing all of you there. Head over to the #convention channel in the Discord server. If you're not a part of the Discord server, definitely get to be a part of it. simulationfl.net, and there's a Discord icon to click on. But a lot of fun to come as far as the convention goes, and a lot of fun to come as far as this SFL championship rematch from season 19. Baltimore holds a slim 3-point lead over Arizona as we get back to the third quarter. It's Cameron Irvine, it's Paul Sarp, it's SFL Impact Monday on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Stay right there. Enjoy the second half, everybody. We'll see you with post game.
Back for the second half here from Sports Gamers Online Stadium, where Arizona and Baltimore have played to a 17-14 score through 22 minutes of play, along with Ron Haynes and Justin Reside in the stats truck. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk, thank you for your halftime report and analysis and thoughts on the convention. That got me fired up and wasn't even thinking about the convention tonight, so good on you, fellas. And along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. Got a good ball game brewing here tonight as Arizona weathered that 14-0 storm, Paul, and have kept this a one-possession game heading into the third quarter.
Absolutely. That 14-point deficit that they found themselves in kind of set the tone, but fighting back against it to make it a game and try to get a win against the Vultures.
Baltimore starts with the ball in the second half and hits Warren Murray for a gain of nothing. So a little bit of an adjustment there from Arizona as they weren't really covering the flats all that much on Murray in the first half, gave up 28 yards on 3 catches.
Yeah, 7 yards of carry on the outside. That's some extra yards that Murray's able to help give his team, and that's just helped Baltimore work their way down the field. So a great job from Arizona kind of making the adjustment.
Mac Shima wide open, first down of the Baltimore 45. Parker Thomas, Iverson Gamble combined for the stop, but Shima getting open pretty easily.
Mac Chima with a quiet first half, only 2 receptions for 9 yards. So to get your third reception, get the total up to 26 yards. Great job from Chima, who is looking to make more of an impact in the second half.
We have seen far less action in the short middle for Baltimore than we typically do. I would assume anticipating that Arizona would be all over it. They've gotten Ackerman a little bit more involved, and they've taken their shots wisely as Murray picks up 5 after making one man miss. 2nd and 5 for the Vultures. Good start to their second half.
Jack Wigmore just being able to lead his team down the field, currently 21 for 23 with 178 passing yards, 0 interceptions. It's the absolute most you can ask for out of a quarterback.
2nd and 5 at the 49. 9:25 to go in the third. Wigmore's pass is hauled in by Chima for a first down of the Arizona 41-yard line. So Mac Chima, that just those 2 catches in that first half, already 2 in the first 2 minutes of the third.
And Baltimore, as well as Arizona, has made some adjustments to their strategy on offense, where you have Mac Chima finally getting more involved rather than Caesar Ackerman. So let's see how Baltimore finishes out this game.
And off to Murray, gets nothing. Wrapped up there by Dede Sachs, who had a lot of struggles in that first half. Gets his first tackle of the night. That's actually just the second tackle by the defensive line of Arizona this evening. Baltimore's defensive front also only has 2.
Looks like both of these teams may be trying to, as we've seen from Baltimore, dump off passes outside and rushes outside rather than going up against that defensive front.
2nd and 10. Wigmore fires middle, caught by Irvin. First down to the Arizona 30. Gamble and Gage, they're combined for the stop. Wigmore is now 23 of 25 passing. Lawless on the defensive side for Arizona leads all players in tackles with 8 total.
Eddie Gage with that tackle, that's going to be good for 1,700 tackles in his career. I know we saw him hit a couple milestones this season. Another one added to the list for Eddie Gage.
Wigmore fires it outside to Ackerman, a pickup of 6. The Arizona 23. So there's Ackerman again with his 7th grab. Looking like the old Jacksonville days when Ackerman, man, they threw a lot of those tight ends last season, along with Joel Harleman. Looking good tonight.
Yeah, Caesar Ackerman just having himself a game. 42 yards on 7 receptions has been a big factor for this Vultures offense tonight.
There's your team stats. Both teams over 200 yards of offense. Arizona actually averaging nearly 7 yards a play. That pass is tipped up and incomplete. Lawless getting into the passing lane. Just the second pass deflection for Arizona's defense tonight. Baltimore only has 3 because we haven't seen a lot of incompletions.
J.R. Lawless is just absolutely all over the field tonight. You have 8 combined tackles. You had on 2 tackles for losses. getting a pass deflection. If he got both hands up there, he may have been able to take that one right back to the house.
Late night here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, 57 degrees and beautiful weather. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit their website and YouTube channel. SGO Stadium here for short, as Wigmore was looking for the deep route there. Arizona had it all covered up, and the dump off to Murray is short of the first down. Really good job by Arizona's secondary, limiting Wigmore and forcing another field goal.
The coverage there for the Scorpions was executed perfectly. To be able to get the offense off of the field, you may give them 3 points off of this field goal, but to limit it to 3 rather than allowing a touchdown is a great job from this defense and gives the offense a chance to possibly take the lead.
This will be a 40-yarder from Tarkington. Low snap, but a clean kick from Shark, and that kick is up and good. 20-14. Baltimore takes the first drive of the second half, turns it into points. Nearly a 4-minute drive for the Vultures. Remember, Arizona took the ball to start the first half and went 3 and out on that possession. This a 10-play, 52-yard drive for the Vultures to net 3 points, mostly through the air.
And you can't be mad if you're Baltimore to put points up on the board. I know you want a touchdown, but you need every point in this game when you have two of the best teams in the league going up head-to-head against one another.
From the 3, Ryan Owens on the return. Owens gets to the 23-yard line. Arizona making Baltimore earn it. Their last 3 drives, 3 minutes, 35 seconds, 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and 3 minutes, 53 seconds. Now, the key there is Baltimore's scored on every single one of those drives, but Arizona is shortening the game with their strategy tonight. First down to the 23. Moses on the left with a stacked line. They go opposite direction. That pass nearly taken away. That has been Stack and Paper's specialty. We have seen him jump those routes a lot this season. TJ Punk picks up 5.
And it was a somewhat risky throw by Jackson, but to be able to get 5 yards off of that and for Ben Stack and Paper not to intercept it and take it back for another touchdown on the season, it's just a great play from the Scorpions there.
And off Moses. Gonna scoot ahead for a couple to the Arizona 31, 3rd and 2.
And Arizona hasn't necessarily been that great on 3rd and short situations. This Baltimore front has been super solid and has not allowed Arizona to move the chains much this game.
Arizona did go 3 for 3 on 3rd down in the second quarter, but it was mostly on those quick routes in that no-huddle offense. That pass is tipped and caught by TJ Punk. That pass batted up in the air by a Baltimore linebacker, and Punk snags it out of the air to save the day.
What an incredible job from TJ Punk. You almost gave the Vultures the ball back there and been forced into 4th down and punting the ball, but an incredible job to come down with it and move the chains for the Scorpions.
Risky business. Weston is their leading receiver, 55 yards on 5 catches, but Punk started to get more involved. Another catch. Jackson took a hit, and Mac Chima took a tumble. 8-yard pickup for TJ.
TJ Punk, 2 plays in a row, making an impact on both of them. I'm shocked at that last catch that he had, Cam, but trying to help your team drive down the field is exactly what you have to do if you're Arizona, and a touchdown gives you an opportunity to take the lead over the Vultures.
Moses 31 yards on 7 carries, but does have a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Moses is dropped for a 1-yard loss. That's Alvin Mack with the TFL, the first tackle for loss recorded of this game. Paul, by our stat crew. Arizona's done a heck of a job staying ahead of the chains as much as they can.
Absolutely. To have 68 tackles for loss on the season and to make it this far in the game without a tackle for loss is just it's not what we're used to seeing.
3rd and 3, Jackson's pass caught. First down to the Arizona 49-yard line. Stacking paper with the tackle. He must be getting frustrated out there because he's been unable to get his paws on some of those out routes. Todd with his 4th grab of the night.
And I love that Ashley Jackson is not afraid to throw it at Ben Stacking Paper, the leading interceptor for this Vultures team, and has been able to get a few catches on him and move the chains in this game.
Jackson to throw on 1st and 10. Clean pocket. That pass tipped up in the air and incomplete. There is a late, and I mean late flag. That could be roughing the passer as Baltimore's defensive front may be getting antsy. Nope, it's a hold on the offense. Boy, that's a tough breath. That came right at the end of the play.
Yeah, that's a tough call there, and
Patrick
very
Kelly.
late flag. That's going to be I believe, the 5th penalty on Arizona so far, and just they need to be in play a little bit more disciplined to limit giving all these free yards to Baltimore.
Boy, that's a big one. 1st and 20. That in the back of the right at the line of scrimmage. So Arizona, a long way to go here. 4.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2 in the backfield. Jackson to throw. Jackson has been money out of that set to Weston, but this time Loshaw jumps it, and now it's 2nd and 20.
That is a great play from Troy Loshaw, the strong safety. 2nd on Baltimore in tackles this season, coming into tonight with 60, and just a great time to make a play there and force Arizona in this 2nd and long opportunity.
3 receivers, top of the screen, 2nd and long. Jackson dropping to throw. Pressure, sacked! First sack of the game for either team, a 6-yard loss. And Arizona's going the wrong way. How about a corner blitz? Marvin Himes with the sack.
Only 8 tackles on the season for Himes, but coming in that formation, coming after Ashley Jackson, unblocked, and making it a 3rd and even longer, and seeing a 3rd and 26 here, and that is not what Arizona wanted to do on this drive.
Nate Brown also there. Arizona started 0 for 2 on 3rd down. They have converted their last 5, but this easily their toughest of the night. 3rd and 26. Jackson will float it middle. It is picked off, and going the other way is Ben Stacking Paper to the Arizona 24-yard line. That holding penalty for Arizona set him back, and now Baltimore's going to have great field position.
And to get this field position, huge credit to Ben Stacking Paper, who has had a few passes on him so far, but always a threat and always someone you have to keep an eye on. Great job from Stacking Paper with his 8th interception on the season.
Justin resigned his stat truck. That was a 3rd, and you've got to be kidding me. I agree. That was going to be tough for anyone to convert, but didn't want the interception there as Murray picks up 5, getting into the Arizona red zone. With 3:42 to go in the 3rd, Baltimore up 6, looking to capitalize.
Yeah, and if you're Baltimore, after that play in the first half from Ryan Owens, which led to Arizona scoring a touchdown, if you're Baltimore here on this drive, you have to take advantage of that interception and make this a 2-possession game.
Ben Stacking Paper with his 8th pick ties his career high that he got back in season 18 as Murray breaks off a tackle. He actually stepped out of bounds, and they said that he was short. I don't know about that call, although I don't know if Baltimore really wants to risk a challenge in this spot either.
And to me, it looked like he may have stepped out just slightly before the first down, but I didn't have the angle that R62 had down there.
A lot of feet around there. You're right. He definitely could have stepped out early. 3rd and inches. They'll give it to Murray, and the offensive line does their job. Murray does the rest, pushing the pile for an 8-yard gain down to the 6.
And Warren Murray not afraid to battle in the trenches against all the big boys down there. moving the chains, getting the first down, getting the ball down to the 6-yard line, and a fresh set of downs here for the Baltimore Vultures.
Down to 2:45 to go in the third. Arizona making Baltimore work again, even with the short field. First and goal at the 6. 3-3 look out of Arizona's defense. Wigmore going to throw. Wigmore out to Murray. He's got blockers in front. He is going to stroll into the end zone. Wow. Baltimore got everybody out there on that play. There was nobody there.
Just when the momentum was going Arizona's way, coming into halftime, the Baltimore Vultures, Ben stacking paper with the interception, and then you have Warren Murray walking into the end zone untouched, making this a 12-point game on Impact Monday, Cam. That's just a great answer from Baltimore.
Murray's numbers, 38 yards on 10 carries, now 49 yards on 9 receptions. And he, like Moses, also has a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. But right now, Murray is winning the battle of the backs here tonight. Baltimore is back up by 13. And it kind of feels like, Paul, Arizona was down 14-0. They spent all of that energy trying to claw their way back into this game, and they're right back where they started.
Yeah, tough break for Arizona. Just that turnover was detrimental to them. But I know that the Scorpions have tremendous fight in them, and I would not expect anything less for them to try and decrease that deficit for a second time tonight.
2:22 to go. Mac Chima already waving goodbye to Arizona. Someone may want to screen grab that in case this game goes sideways. But 2:22 left in the third. That's the confidence of a 3-time champion, Paul. They are not used to losing in this building, particularly blowing 13-point leads in the second half.
And we saw them lose in this stadium earlier in the season, and they're trying their hardest to start another streak at home.
Jackson's pass floated, and not a good ball from her. Keenan Samuels knocks it away. So now 5 passes defended for Baltimore. They only had 2 about 15 minutes ago.
And that's just great defense there from Keenan Samuels. We saw earlier in the season, had an interception, returned back for a touchdown, and Keenan Samuels just played great defense there.
Moses in the backfield, kind of gone away from him here in this third quarter. Jackson back to throw. Jackson going deep in. The pass is knocked away. Stacking paper the second time he is dove for a football and knocked it away. This man is a menace.
An absolute menace indeed, Cam. And that's the second time we've seen Ashley Jackson try to take that shot, and that's the second time that the pass just looked like there wasn't enough power on it. If you stretch it out maybe 2-3 more yards, you might be looking at 2 touchdowns there.
Now it's 3rd and long for Arizona. 2:14 to go in the third. Play fake, pressure, Jackson sacked. 8-yard loss, second sack of the game for Baltimore. Didn't fool Joe Duncan on the outside, and yeah, that's going to be another punt.
Joe Duncan, that's 8.5 sacks on the season for him, in the top 10 in the SFL in season 20, looking to move his way up a little bit more, and that's just a great play to get this Arizona Scorpions offense off of the field and again give your offense a chance to increase this lead even more.
More good field position coming for Baltimore. Punt is away with no pressure. They set up for the return, and Ivory Irvin breaks off a tackle. Irvin gets all the way to the Arizona 41-yard line.
Ivory Irvin trying to make another splash play for the Vultures, and thankfully for the Scorpions, they were able to bring him down with that last tackler. And if he was able to break that tackle, they may be looking at even better field possession here.
1:34 left in a third quarter that's been dominated by Baltimore after a second quarter dominated by Arizona and a first quarter dominated by Baltimore. Pass outside to Irvin, picks up 5, and that's Arizona's hope. Get to the fourth quarter. Maybe they can have a dominant showing, but they've got to keep this within reach.
It's still a 2-touchdown game, so Arizona's defense has to make a play on this drive to maybe get pressure on Wigmore and force him into a tough situation. And you have to limit Jack Wigmore's precise accuracy.
2nd and 5 at the 36. Wigmore going to throw. He's going deep. He's got people open, and it is Mac Chima, and he's got a touchdown walking in. They always seem to get one. Mac Chima scores, and now it's a rout.
Mac Chima was waving earlier. He's waving even harder now. He just beats the defender. A receiver that fast, you can't let him beat you. You can't let him beat the cornerback, and if you're the safety, you just gotta be there to bring him down.
Jack Wigmore, 30 for 33. 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. And whatever Fort Worth did to beat the Vultures, it ain't happening here tonight. Tarkington's extra point is good, and now it's a 20-point lead, the largest of the night for Baltimore.
Still a whole quarter left to play, but being down 20 points to the 3-time champs is never a good place for any team to be.
Mac Chima waved bye-bye to Arizona on the sidelines and waved bye-bye to Parker Thomas for the score. Irvin 7 for 64, but Chima now up to 5 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Owens is brutalized at the 21-yard line. And Arizona got a score now.
Absolutely. You need to answer and just close the deficit touchdown by touchdown, defensive stop by defensive stop. And you just got to stay locked in and make the right plays to help your team win.
Jackson hit. Man, she got nailed, and Diesel dropped it. Nate Brown again. He's been excellent tonight while Yates has been bottled up. 2nd and 10.
And Baltimore is laying it on thick here. Just special teams players making huge hits. We see another big hit there. And unfortunately, the pass was dropped. And you're now looking at 2nd and 10 rather than 2nd and maybe 3.
We saw this in the second half of the championship game. Get to it in a minute. 2nd and 10. Jackson hands off to Moses. I was just calling for it. DJ Moses, before that carry here in this second half, had 2 carries for 1 yard and only gets 2 there. You see his numbers. I mean, they've just gone away from the run game in this third quarter and put it all on Jackson's shoulders. 3rd and 8. Same thing happened in the title game late. DJ Moses is nowhere to be found. Jackson out of the shotgun. That pass is tipped up in the air and intercepted.
Picked.
At the Arizona 29, and this has turned into a bloodbath as Troy LaShaw makes the play. No TJ Punk to save you this time.
And all things going Baltimore's way here. The ball was tipped 2 or 3 times and ends up in the hands of the Vultures defender. And back to your last point, Cam, when DJ Moses is being virtually shut down all game and you find yourself in this type of predicament, you have to rely on the passing game to get you back into the game. So DJ Moses has just been quiet all second half.
Yeah, that's the way to silence the league's #1 rusher, right? Get up by 20 in the third. Look at the blocking. Oh, man. They went down like blocks. A child's plaything. Touchdown Warren Murray, 40-14.
And we're still here in the third quarter with a full quarter to play. Baltimore putting 40 points up here.
Boom, boom, boom.
And just the blocking is just flawless on that play. And Warren Murray is just able to walk into the end zone for another time untouched.
Well, you know who's happy about this game, Paul?
Who's that, Cam?
That would be Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
They blow it at home in D.C. lose their lead or their gain on Arizona, and look at this. Right back in contention for the West. Just a half game back of Arizona, who has a bye next week.
And Arizona has a tough remaining few games to finish this season. So, as you said, go up against Las Vegas. You also have San Diego on the schedule, who's fighting for a playoff spot. Definitely going to be a exciting finish to this season.
24 seconds to go in the third. 41-14. 21 unanswered for the Vultures since they gave Arizona that opportunity to get down the field and score with 4 seconds left. Arizona had all the momentum heading into the locker room. Now they have none of it. Ashley Jackson will come back out. Jay Hayden wants to know why I sound sad. I just want to watch good football. Right now, I'm only watching 50% of good football because Baltimore is just crushing right now.
And it's not even good football for Baltimore. It's just it's executed
football.
Perfectly. There's
Flawless.
nothing. It's absolutely flawless.
Justin Williams, nice route there. 9-yard pickup at the Arizona 33-yard line. There's Wigmore's numbers. Clean sheet. He has kept the ball out of harm's way despite 33 pass attempts.
He has just as many touchdowns as he does incompletions.
Yeah.
It's a strong performance from Wigmore tonight.
2nd and 1 at the 33. Arizona just got to string some things together. Final play before the quarter. Jackson shotgun with 2 on either side of her. 2nd and 1 at the 33. Snaps it with 1 on the clock. Jackson fires into the middle again. That pass is incomplete. Yeah, I'm not seeing that working too much in the second half. That's the end of the third quarter. 41-14. Baltimore has pulled away. 3-time defending champs flexing their muscles on Impact Monday in prime time. Good luck, Carolina. We'll be right back.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Back to start the fourth. Baltimore up 41-14 in the Season 19 championship rematch. And all I know, Paul, is I'm just glad we didn't get this game in the championship.
Absolutely. You don't want to see a blowout at any time, but rather in the regular season than the championship.
Moses has a first down to the Arizona 39. All seriousness here, Paul. I mean, if Arizona just got to get a touchdown on the board, you never know what's going to happen. You just got to get a touchdown, see if your defense can come up with a stop and catch Baltimore napping. That's their shot here.
Hey, quick touchdown, quick turnover, another quick touchdown, another quick turnover. It's just the cycle. It's all you got to do if you're Arizona at this point in the fourth quarter.
10.5 left. As Jackson fires it outside to Punk, gets out of bounds after a 7-yard pickup. Warfield and Mack out there in coverage. Jackson's done a nice job spreading the ball around tonight. 5 catches to players out of the backfield. 5 for Weston, 4 for Punk, 4 for Todd, and 20 completions rather for AJ.
You just got to give credit to the Vultures defense. There's a reason they're the #1 defense in the league, and they're showing it.
Handoff, Moses has a first down. Moses breaks free, needs a block, and got it, and DJ Moses is gone. Touchdown, Arizona.
And as you called earlier, Cam, we saw it in the championship. DJ Moses making the splash play that the Arizona Scorpions desperately needed there. You had the blocking there, and it was just off to the races for Moses as there was nobody in sight for him.
E.J. DeQ down the field. This is the same guy that raced DJ Moses to the end zone last week. Remember that, Paul? And he was out there deep down the field making things happen. I mean, think about it. If DeQ does not get to the third level, Moses is probably tackled, and we're still waiting for points from Arizona. But E.J. DeQ, a difference maker, makes that play.
And it's never over until the clock hits 0, Cam.
Cliff Allen's extra point is good. 41-21 now. 10:08 to go. The over-under is shattered. Paul's score prediction is shattered. But we're still playing some good football here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Next week on Next Level Sports, two teams in the hunt for the playoffs will face off to better their positioning for a run when the 4-5 Portland Fleet head to Houma to take on the 5-4 Louisiana Revolution. Kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. For a complete channel guide, visit NLSC.com. Paul, the Portland Fleet not even on our top 16 graphic tonight as Irvin gets it up to the 30. But they're only one game back of the division, and they currently have that tiebreaker on Vancouver, so they're just as in it as anyone. Louisiana,
Absolutely.
The first team out right now.
Yeah, and after Portland's win against Seattle this weekend, just making things tougher and letting Vancouver know that the Pacific Division is not locked in yet, and Vancouver does not have the division.
Moses, by the way, gets to 86 yards. He's 4 away from 9,000. That pass over the middle, dangerous. Gets it over to Chima for a 1-yard pickup. Tried to set up the screen. Arizona blew that up. 2nd and 9, 9:50 left.
And if you're Baltimore right now, you just want to drain the clock. You have a very comfortable 20-point lead. Just take as much time off of the clock as you can and just limit the opportunities that Arizona's offense can have to finish this game.
Good news for Baltimore. They've been running the ball well. 78 yards tonight. They average 83 on the season. Murray is going to pick up a first down. Shifty out of the backfield with another catch from Wigmore.
And all game long, Warren Murray just dominating the flats, making defenders miss left and right, and moving the chains, fighting for the first down.
83 rushing yards per game for Baltimore, their lowest since season 17, really since Murray came into the picture, but they have been getting Murray involved in the passing game quite a bit over the last month or so. Means makes a catch, his first of the night, a 3-yard gain, temporarily stops the clock with 9:03 left.
I'm sure Arizona is super thankful, and they're going to be challenging it after the clock was stopped.
I don't know about that, Paul. It's a 3-yard gain. Who cares? I mean, you need all of those timeouts if you want to make a comeback. We'll see, but man, I don't know about that.
Yeah, even if you win the challenge, sure, you get the 3 yards back.
I don't think they're gonna
as
win
he got both feet down, it looked like. But now if you're Arizona, you only have 2 timeouts opposed to 3, and that could be a game-deciding factor if Arizona's able to go on a run here.
Yeah, I don't know what Eddie Gage was thinking on that one. That is a waste, and it turns out they didn't need 3 timeouts there at the end of the first half. They executed that drive perfectly, but man, you need all the help you can get down 20, and that did not help. The 3-yard catch stands for Means, so 2nd and 7 coming up. As Wigmore fires it outside to Irvin. And that is a pickup of a few to the 49-yard line of Baltimore. Garrison on the stop, 3rd and 1, as Irvin is jawing.
Jack Wigmore slowly but surely increasing his completions percentage by another 0.2% up to 34 for 37 on the night, and just having his way with this Scorpions defense.
Can't go much higher at this point. Wigmore back to throw, and Murray was covered up, and he is hit in the backfield. Man, Wigmore got crushed trying to get the ball out to Murray. A 2-yard loss. Arizona gets the stop, and they'll get the football back with 8.5 to go.
And that was the stop Arizona needed. You still have 8.5 minutes left on the clock. You get the ball back, and as we saw in the last drive, DJ Moses was able to just take off and score at the drop of a dime, and that's all Arizona needs to get closer to this Vultures 41 points.
From the 10, Owens on the return had a little bit of space. Gets up to the 16, 10-on-10 crime there. Ivory Irvin saying, "I'll do it myself." Brings down Owens at the 16. 8:10 to go. Good news for Baltimore. Ryan Owens' 60-yard catch, the only passing play over 20 yards tonight. Arizona's got to go 84. And if you remember, Paul, it wasn't a deep route either. Owens just made something out of nothing to get that 60-yarder. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Jackson flips it out to Weston, picks up 5 as Arizona gets another drive started.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see if Arizona can get into something that they like, to start see that no-huddle offense come back that we saw in the first half, to try and catch Baltimore off guard and just try and save as much time as they can to give them a chance to get back into this game.
Worked once before. Jackson out of the shotgun, 2nd and 5 of the 22. Jackson will fire it out to Moses. Moses makes one-man miss, breaks a tackle, gets first down to the 30. And I think, Paul, Arizona's in decent shape if they can score in the next 2.5 minutes. They could still play some defense and keep things interesting. We'll see how they pace this drive moving forward.
And I know the score may not look like it, but DJ Moses not having the best game of his season, but he's been one of the hardest players to bring down all game.
Still waiting on those 2 yards to get to 9,000 officially for DJ. Jackson going deep, and the pass is tipped up in the air and incomplete. That has not worked all night. Now 0 for 3 on that. Stacking paper with yet another pass deflection. He is a difference maker out there for this Vulture team.
For sure, and Baltimore most definitely did their research and knows that Ashley Jackson loves to take those deep shots. Their scouting department has been truly locked down on Ashley Jackson and DJ Moses, minus his splash play last drive. But huge credit to Baltimore's front office.
Handoff, Moses breaks a tackle, almost broke a second. Man, that's 9,000 for DJ Moses, but he was almost gone again.
And one tackle more broken, and he was off to the races for a second time on back-to-back drives. And huge credit to him for his milestone. 9,000 yards is an incredible feat.
3rd and short, and Moses can't get it. Wow, what a great play by Frank Smith. Arizona has faced 8 third downs in the 3rd quarter alone. They are 7 rather. They are 2 for 7, and they'll have to punt. They're on their own side of the field. They have no choice to trust their defense.
It's a tough call to make at this point in the game, but you got to get a turnover if you're Arizona here and force Jack Wigmore into a tough pass opportunity.
Oh, but Ivory Irvin on the return says, adios, amigos. Punt return touchdown. Why not? Every big game he scores.
And Ivory Irvin making a big-time play, which more than likely may be the dagger for the Scorpions. And you think he's a threat on offense? We'll wait until you see him on special teams, returning a punt for a touchdown. What an incredible play from Irvin to increase this lead for Baltimore even more.
See, I told you, Paul, should have gone for it.
Yes, if you can't get the 4th and 1, a touchdown is no better than giving them the ball back.
Extra point is good. 48-21. It kind of felt like Arizona's effort in the 2nd quarter, Paul. They were starting to make some headway, and just when they started to make some headway, Baltimore put them right back in their place. Seen that twice tonight.
Absolutely. They fought back going into halftime, only being down 3 points, and now they find themselves down 27 points. And Baltimore Vultures, as good as they are in the first half, they are just even better in the second half.
Baltimore beat Arizona back when they were Oklahoma City by 31, but since they became the Arizona Scorpions, the largest margin of victory is only 17. This is a 27-point lead for Baltimore. This will be the first time this season that Baltimore scored 48 or more, but they've done it now in 5 consecutive seasons. Jackson's pass is floated up and incomplete. They haven't caught one of those all night. Last time they did it here at home was March 19th, 2022, over a year ago. Hung 56 on the Nightwings.
And on that play, Ashley Jackson, we've seen it tonight, just kind of lofting things up, and the Vultures defense is just swarming as we see 3 Baltimore defenders in coverage there, and they've just forced Ashley Jackson to make these passes, forcing everything that she can, and we've seen 14 times now she's come up with an incompleted pass.
They've been going a lot to this a lot tonight. Split backs in the shotgun here. 2 receivers bottom of the screen. Jackson looking for anybody to be open, and nobody was. I mean, they're basically sending Williams and Moses out in the flat and sending everyone middle, and that's been a mess all night for the Scorps.
And this Baltimore team on the season only allowing 18.3 points a game, allowing 21 tonight. But the way that they've been playing on defense, they're just proving again why they are the #1 defense in the league.
Jackson hit as she threw. The pass is incomplete, and it's 4th down. And another punt coming up for Arizona, and Baltimore will play out the stretch here. Three weeks left in the 20th anniversary season, Paul. Crazy. Over 100 games played so far this season.
It's crazy to me, Cam, to be able to see all of this action week after week, all of these games twice a season is just incredible.
Irvin, can he do it again? The Arizona 47-yard line, just carving them up. And who knows, Paul, back-to-back weeks, we maybe talk about that album.
Yeah.
We had a good run in us there in the middle of the season. We are hopefully our flexes do us some justice over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. We saw last week another blowout last week, and we got a blowout tonight. We had 2 weeks in a row with some good games, and then it just when you go up against the Vultures and the Vultures are playing, how do you stop them? The whole league's been trying to figure that out for over a year and a half now.
Murray first down to the Arizona 46. He actually gets shoved by Parker Thomas into the only open area of the field. It's just been that kind of second half for Baltimore. With this win, they're going to win the Atlantic again. So Baltimore, along with Atlanta, will lock up the second division crown in the SFL this season. London is the next closest. They just need a win or a Canton loss next week in order to secure the North title. As Wigmore's pass is caught by Chima, taps the toes down to the Arizona 23. Baltimore still throwing.
And Baltimore looking to put 50 points up against an 8-1 team to let SFL know that they have no plans of going anywhere this offseason. And Baltimore is looking to be a 4-time repeating champion.
So now Atlanta is 8-1 and Baltimore is 8-1 at the top of the standings, but it's clear as day to me, Paul. Baltimore will be your favorite going into the playoffs unless something dramatic happens over the next 3 weeks. I mean, I love the Atlanta story, but we've seen Atlanta before, and we've seen Baltimore here tonight, and I don't know, Paul. It's seems like a wide gap.
Yeah, definitely thought we were going to see a little bit closer of a game, but how can Baltimore not be the favorites headed into the postseason after a performance like this against the Arizona Scorpions, who have been dominating all season long?
Playoffs are all about matchups, and if Baltimore will be certainly looking to see where Fort Worth and teams like Arizona fall on their side of the bracket. I think Baltimore even understands that an Arizona team, they'd rather not see them see somebody a little bit more new to the postseason, like an Indy, for example.
Absolutely, and I'm sure all of these teams that will be in the playoffs will be watching the matchups as well. And I know whoever's going to be facing Baltimore in the second round, they got to win the game the first before they even meet Baltimore. But I know their teams are not going to be wanting to be matched up against Baltimore come playoff time.
3rd and 7 at the 20, down to 3:15 to go. Wigmore going to try and get the first down, and he does. Caesar Ackerman, who's been quiet in the first half, but they haven't needed him. He had a great, or quiet in the second half, rather. He had a great first half performance, and that'll keep the clock churning down to the Arizona 11.
Caesar Ackerman's going to tie the lead with Ivory Irvin on the night for receptions with his 8th. Came into the night with 27, so getting a little bit of an increased workload tonight. And he's proven to be a big-time player that he is.
Hard to believe this game was 20-14 at the half. It just seems like such a long time ago as the backup quarterback is in and tosses a near touchdown. Adam Jefferson gets the ball out to Murray, and Murray did all the hard work, nearly put a touchdown in his stat sheet.
Yeah, Jefferson, when you have someone like Warren Murray out there able to catch the ball for you and just make things happen himself, why not throw a little screen out to him and let him do all the work to move the chains again on this drive, trying to score and make it and hit that 50-point milestone for the game.
They'll run this down to the 2-minute warning. Baltimore, if you can believe it, they've scored at least 55 points in 5 straight seasons if they can get a touchdown on the board in the next 2 minutes. 1st and goal at the 1, 48-21, Baltimore. Flexing, smiling, waving goodbye, and tossing him the keys. So Jefferson is your quarterback. I think Murray is still in. He gets it and can't get in. Arizona will burn a timeout and try and hold him out for pride.
One way or another, Baltimore is going to be scoring 50 points here, short of a interception from the Scorpions defense or a fumble from Warren Murray. But when they've been playing as flawless as they have been, it's got to be tough for the Scorpions defense.
Eddie Gage going to be sick over the defensive performance as a defensive player himself, although this will give him some solace as Garrison tackles Murray short of the goal line. Murray shrugs, needed the R there, him off. 3rd and goal at the 2.
And with Baltimore closing out this game between these teams, this is the 6th time they've met. The home team has won the last 5 now, dating back to 2019, where Baltimore beat the Oklahoma City Renegades 48-17, and it's looking pretty similar to that, other than 4 points, Cam. Might even get worse.
Chip shot, 19-yard field goal for Tark to make it a 30-point game. Largest margin of victory at home for Baltimore, 47, so not anywhere near that. Baltimore's made some teams look pretty bad over the last few years, so this doesn't rank in the upper echelon of that, but against the 8-1 Arizona Scorpion team, certainly impressive all the same. Updated look at the stats. Remember, Paul, we both teams were in between 200 and 250 at one point, and Vultures have just pulled away, and they've actually done it all through the air. They had 78 rushing yards about half an hour ago, and they've managed to take Arizona's yards per play from 7 to 5. Baltimore has no turnovers. They have not given up a sack tonight. Arizona's defensive front has been non-existent.
And it's all credit. As far as the offense, it's not all credit, but a lot of credit to Jack Wigmore, who we haven't seen him throw an incompletion, I believe, since the first half. He's now up to 93.2%, currently 41 of 44.
Shotgun for Jackson. First down and 10. That pass is caught, and Weston is going to be tackled short by Stack and Paper the first down. I want to get it out before the game is over. Baltimore has scored 55 or more points in 7 different games in franchise history. That pass hauled in by Owens, chased down by Hines. In those 7 games, they have scored 55 or more against 7 different teams. Indianapolis, Denver, London, LA, Alamo City, Louisiana, and now Arizona, as that pass is caught for a touchdown for the Scorpions. But Baltimore not only dominates, but they dominate everyone. No stat shows that. Owens gets a garbage time touchdown for the Scorps to keep it a little closer.
Ryan Owens getting over the century mark for the game, getting his first touchdown of the game, up to 3 receptions now for 142 yards. And what's crazy is he's been targeted 9 times. And the Baltimore secondary has just absolutely shut him down, minus the few big plays he's made.
And I misspoke, Paul. I actually said 55 or more. It's 51 or more since Baltimore got the field goal. But guess what? Only strengthens the argument. Adds a 52-point game against Houston to the to the category of number of teams they've scored over 50 against all one time. But, yeah, they got Arizona's number tonight. Nice pass from Jackson to Owens there. 1:09 to go. Arizona will go for the onside kick.
I know you may have said 55 earlier, but how about a chance for 58 if they can recover this onside and score another touchdown?
I would hope they'd take a knee, and it's recovered. Oh, my gosh, it almost happened. That was almost returned by David Anderson for a touchdown. It bounced right to him.
Wow.
Woo.
That was extremely close to being right on cue, and oh boy, when things couldn't get much worse, well, how about an onside recovered for a touchdown?
And if you would have nailed that one, that would have been truly special. Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk will wrap things up in the SFL Studios for a post game. Not much more to say about this one, but Baltimore is 8-1, and they are that train is full speed ahead towards Carolina next week. One more kneel down will get us out of here. Well, can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It's it's a blowout because the cats are ready. Somebody's got to get a dog around here. This is ridiculous. One more kneel down from Jefferson. So Adam Jefferson gets some reps in tonight. Look at him stretching the legs. It's like, yeah, got to stay loose. Never know when your number's going to get called. Showing Murray how to do it since he couldn't get that touchdown earlier tonight.
Yeah.
51-28. Baltimore gets it done. Impressive, outstanding performance from the Baltimore Vultures. 2 post-game with Curtis and Tyler coming up.
(51-28) your final score as Baltimore comes in the rematch and lays the doubts to bed. Okay, Molly, you want to go away? That's Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk, and his kitty cat along with us for the post-game report. And Tyler, Baltimore basically came out of the locker room at the start of the second half and said, this is no longer in doubt. This is our game.
So I don't know if they say some pets can sense your owner's sadness. They can sense, they can detect low insulin or too much insulin. And in some cases, I think our feline friends can detect blowouts because they seem to just appear randomly in that regard. So Buck says hello for the second time on Impact Monday, and he will try and numb on my microphone at some point, but there he goes. Let's get into it, right? Baltimore, we're a broken record. We do Baltimore things.
Yeah.
We ball. Baltimore. What more needs to be said at this point?
Ball. Okay, anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's becoming almost to a point where the league may want to consider keeping Baltimore off of primetime games because it's turning into a blowout every time they hit the field. So that being said, I mean, the Arizona, they had a good second quarter, but really when Jack Wigmore is scoring A's on his tests being his completion percentage, that's probably going to spell doom for any defense that's across from him. We're talking about a team that was forced to throw 45 plus times, talking about Baltimore, and yet they still come out and they win, even being as one-dimensional as they were.
And it just goes to show you that Wigmore is unfazed off of the close game that was the season 19 championship. Just goes to show that he comes out, he takes control of football games, and especially here in the regular season, he knows where to put the football. He nearly mistakeless tonight. Nearly effortless performance. And Arizona looked like they were just a fish out of water on defense in some cases tonight. There were a couple of packages, one where the long touchdown near side to Chima. It didn't look like a typical Arizona defense. You rarely see Arizona give up that kind of touchdown. And tonight, that's exactly what happened. We saw Arizona give up one too many of those touchdowns, and that's how they put 50 points on the board.
The Warhorse got the player of the game tonight. So, I mean, even with Wigmore doing his thing, it was the running back, Warren Murray, who gets the nod as the player of the game. He had a good game as well, as did everybody. I mean, everybody has to have a good game for you to put up 50-plus points in an offensive showing against a team like Arizona, and they were completely there the entire time. Arizona had good flashes, but just not enough when it came down to it. Ryan Owens, I think, the lone bright spot for Arizona. Now, let's talk about Baltimore. I think these last couple weeks, they've sent more or less a message that they're not going anywhere. Where do you think, do you think that's their mentality? And now I'll ask you again, Baltimore or the field?
So let's take a look at the last couple seasons, particularly the last two. We have seen Baltimore more or less come this time of the season, all of a sudden have a really weird patch in games where they had lost maybe two back-to-back games. Minnesota's start last season comes to mind when they beat Baltimore. And Baltimore again lost, I think it was either to DC.
It was DC, yeah.
Yes. But all of a sudden they come right back at the end of that season and they go on to win the championship like nothing ever happened. This season, it feels to me like it's different. They see Arizona, they see Atlanta, and they see Tulsa all playing extremely well. And of course, coming into this week, both at Arizona and Atlanta were sitting at 7+ wins, sitting at a very good mark. So Baltimore, if they want the number one seed, can't let up on the gas. And so they have to finish out strong. They have to continue game planning as effectively as they have and not allow a weird patch to come in. They had a slip up. They did have a slip up versus Fort Worth, and Fort Worth played an excellent game. But I'm still taking Baltimore over the field because of what this team is capable of, especially in the last 3 playoff series.
Yeah, it's been incredible to see them go through and dominate, and it really makes you wonder as we start to close the book on APF and start to look towards 2K23 and wonder what kind of team they're going to field when the new game comes out. You have a whole bunch of new wrinkles, you have a whole bunch of new schemes and things that you can do in that game, and does Baltimore lend itself to creativity, or do they have APF figured out to a point where maybe it's going to take some time to adjust? And I guess that question can be asked, and I'll ask you, what do you expect from the field and Baltimore in regard to the adjustment period and how everything is going to shape out come season 21.
So we still don't know officially
Right.
a majority of the finer details to this because we don't know salary cap. We don't know the transition from players from our current engine in all pro football to 4K23 and the removal of different attributes / animations that make the players act a way they certainly do. Not to get too much into it because it is the off season. We're going to break down all of this.
There's going to be so much more
at the end of this season it ad nauseum, but there will be an adjustment period for all teams. I would be remiss if saying that there is no team currently looking at the new engine and that there will be teams that will come out of the gate stronger. I think we will see some teams like a resurgent. One team that comes to mind right now that might be in a more resurgent in the new model would probably be Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles might have one of the best positions to go with that, especially Queen City as well, the winless Corsairs. One thing that they might already be looking at is, we haven't won a single game here in the season 20, but we have a chance to get started on the right foot in season 21. So expect maybe one or two of those teams to make a leap forward. And one of the teams that has concentrated on maybe making season 20 an all or nothing push to maybe, take a step back next season. But that's too soon to tell. Lots of things still have to come down the pipe and be finalized. Yes, 4K23, if I'm not mistaken, is still an alpha as far as testing goes, as far as the Thursday night simulations go.
There's still some time,
Still some time. Still plenty of football in season 20 to go off. I got week 12, 13, and 14, and all the crazy playoff scenarios that come with it.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. We've got quite a few really awesome looking Impact Mondays to come, including the one next week. It is the Atlanta Swarm traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Ramblers, as the Ramblers are playoff hungry, trying to get in Atlanta, trying to secure their playoff spot as well. And that is going to do it here for week 11. It's for Tyler Falk, Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp, and our statisticians. I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from Impact Monday. We'll see you at the start of next week for week 12 of SFL season 20.